So I already ambushed you guys and we're recording.
Oh, no shit.
So get up on those mics. But
No
that's the best way to do it, because for whatever reason, I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years, so record, not record, whatever. But sometimes when people are new, they're kind of like, oh, fuck, dude, people are listening now.
Right,
The click is like this. Whew. So, but no, guys, I fucking really appreciate you guys coming out. The reason I think this is going to be a cool episode is because I have not ever heard people give the art of being an ukie the amount of credit that it really needs. Because without a good ukie, from my perspective as a teacher and instructor, it's fucking hard. It's impossible. And it's like, if I go live against, say, Craig, what's Craig? Well, he's smaller now, but he was 275.
Yeah, he's like 250 right now.
If I go live with Craig, I have Jiu Jitsu that I can apply against a guy that's 275 pounds. I have a bag of tricks, right? Mm-hmm. But my game, my whole bag of tricks, most of it doesn't work because of the shape of that person, the weight of that person. And it's hard to teach people a full curriculum of Jiu Jitsu with somebody whose body is a Craig, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The other thing is, all of you guys, you didn't become Ukes by accident. I don't know if I've ever told you this or not, but it's like, I seek people out that are like all in with the team, right? Like you guys, if it's a normal practice that you're not here, somebody's like, dude, what's up with Jake? Why is Jake not here tonight? Right. You know, like this team can count on you guys being here. But the other thing is you have to have a well-rounded game of jiu-jitsu, because if I'm teaching takedowns, if I'm teaching sweeps, from top, from bottom, transitions, you guys have to have an understanding of exactly how all those positions work. But more importantly, you have to be able to, and I know this sounds like we're choreographing jiu-jitsu, but you have to be part of the dance. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't be a limp noodle. You got to make it look good.
Yeah. You have to give enough resistance, even when I'm explaining a move. Exactly. If you're a limp noodle, it's like, and I've seen that with the kids sometimes, like their drilling partner's just laying on the ground and it's like, this isn't working. I'm like, yeah, because if someone was just laying on the ground in a fight, I'd just stand up and stomp their head in. Right. I don't have to apply any technique, you know? So the art of the ukie is not only being able to like understand all the different positions, but meet me with the exact correct energy to show the team what we're trying to show them. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think a cool way to kind of go into this podcast, obviously we'll kind of go in and talk about each one of your guys' journeys and just have fun, have a conversation. But I wanted to open it up with Zach, because you're the OG of the Ukes. Yeah. You've been here, what, a year or two longer than these guys? Maybe a year?
Maybe. Probably about a year, 6-8 months.
Okay.
Sure.
Remember, stay on that
mic. They came in pretty soon after me. It might even be closer to 6 months.
Okay. I remember, like, I tell people all the time that one of the reasons that Zach is so fucking good is because you were like the last of the white belt mafia that would roll in one every 2, 3, 4 months. So you joined the team and there wasn't another white belt on the map until maybe these guys showed up.
It was a very small group of people for a short period of time. And then pretty shortly after that, it really started to blow up, like a few people at a time.
Yeah. But like when you're getting your rounds in, it's going to be like on a typical Monday or Wednesday night, you're going to get like me, Daniel, Tyler Stanaway, Mark.
Ariel's still here.
Yeah. You know, and it's like now the new white belts, bro, they might go 4 or 5 rounds, all with other white belts, which there's a lot of value in that, right? And we'll get into that because I don't know what the right formula is as far as like who you should seek out. Like not every single role has to be to the fucking death, right? Sometimes you want to go against guys you're significantly better than to practice your fucking armbar setups or whatever, right? But for your first 6 months, it was fucking fighting for life like every second.
Absolutely.
You know?
Struggling.
And now looking back on, I think that's a blessing in disguise.
It is. I don't think you should go around trying to selectively choose who you're rolling with. Just pick someone. Just keep going. Just keep pick, because you can benefit from other white belts. You can benefit from people who are higher ranked than you as well. Just all on different levels.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, let's just go right into it then, because obviously I know your journey of jiu-jitsu because I cornered you and said, why aren't you training jiu-jitsu? But bro, I know you were living in Seattle when you first got interested in being a part of this team, and ultimately ended up moving up here because of this team. But what was kind of the first thing that sparked you into trying jiu-jitsu and coming up here?
Okay, so I had trained jiu-jitsu a little bit before for about a year, maybe a year and a half, but it was like 12 to 15 years ago in Oceanside, California. So I had a little bit of jiu-jitsu under my belt, but it had drifted away over a very long period of time. So around the time that I had wanted to start getting back into jiu-jitsu, I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and it started out with like Jocko podcast and then moved into like Cleared Hot, and they're always talking about jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And that's actually around that time I was trying to get into a gym in Seattle, the Enzo Gracie Academy in Seattle, but because of COVID, they were closed.
Okay.
And I had heard you on the Cleared Hot podcast with Andy Stumpf, and you were talking about how your gym was still open. So I reached out to you that day through email. And you were like, hey, do you have any training under your belt? I said, yeah, a little bit. You said, all right, man, come out tonight. It's going to be a good night. It was a fucking Friday.
Okay.
And for some reason, that one Friday was like really big. There was a lot of people here that night, which was great. But yeah, I just came out, had a loaner gi on. I was actually only wearing a gi top and like shorts, just getting smashed on by
The Sambo uniform?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then that Friday night, I don't even remember. Were you like, fuck yeah, this is my place? Or
Yeah, dude. Yeah, when I walked in, you guys were just trying out the MMA. You were trying to get this new MMA class going. So I came in. It was just you, Seven, RJ, and Mike Kozak.
Okay. Yep.
And I walked in, and I'm looking at you three guys like you're all covered in tattoos, saying dude and bro and shit. And RJ, Seven had a mullet at the time.
Yeah.
And then I look over at the wall, and you got all these medals on the wall. And when I had been deciding to choose a gym, even if I had the opportunity to try out other gyms, that would have been something that I was looking for as a professor who had a history of competing.
Yeah.
Because that gives you more of a fire, more of an edge, as opposed to somebody who just, you know what I mean, like got their black belt. Because we've seen a couple of them come through here. People who have probably never competed, but they just got their black belt, like training off the
attendance
record,
based.
Attendance based, yeah.
And bro, like, I don't want to fucking necessarily talk shit about other black belts, right?
Oh, absolutely
And
not.
and most of the ones that have come through here and visited are an absolute value add when they visit.
Yeah.
But there has been a couple that like, and I'll talk shit about him because he was a fucking weirdo. But we were still upstairs,
Yeah.
and
One who wanted to coach kids class.
yeah, he comes in, and the first thing he said to me was, "Hey, I'm interested in being one of your coaches for kids class." And it's like, bro, I'm literally shaking your hand for the first time.
I don't know you.
To entrust you with my kids is a big fucking deal, right?
Yeah.
And then my white belts kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah. Bob.
That's
White
right.
belt is very
That's
vague.
right. Okay, so
Yes.
I forgot that it was Bob. All right.
Yes.
So there's a little caveat to that. White belt Bob was a hard role for anyone in the room. I don't care who the fuck you were.
Anyone on the planet.
And I was just,
Oh my
I was just gonna say, white belt Bob, who's now purple belt Bob, if you didn't know.
really?
Yeah. So he got a blue belt from me, as you guys know, and then he got deported, for lack of a better word. You know, he's a Canadian citizen, and he works down here with the sheriff's office, and his visa expired, and they said, you got to go home.
Yeah,
And
let's
so-
get rid of that guy.
Yeah, let's get rid of that guy, right?
Uh-huh.
We'll let millions of people come through, but let's get rid of Bob, one of the fucking most savage fucking men I've ever met. But, dude, Bob did what Bob did to that black belt, and he didn't address me in the email. He addressed Jenny, and he said, "Hey, Jenny, please cancel my contract." And he'd only been a member for like 3 days.
Dude,
Right?
that's the feat when you can't even address the coach. You're like, hey, I gotta contact his wife and quit. This is terrible.
No, but you're right though. I mean, all black belts, all jujitsu practitioners are not created equal. I mean, you guys have already experienced, and again, this is not trying to knock anybody. It's just the reality of the mats. Like I say all the time, the mats don't lie. How many blue belts have come in here and you've just treated them like you treat your girlfriend? And it's like, what is this? You know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
And so I've always prided myself, and I took this directly from Bouchesha and Joao. It's like, I don't care who you are. If you're going to share the mats with us, man, we're here to train, right? And that can kind of scare people away to a certain extent. I feel like we've dialed it perfectly where like it's comfortable for people, but at the same time, it's not so the dial's not turned so far that like if you're a new person that you're too intimidated to partake in what this team's doing.
Yeah, we almost have like two different versions of the team too. We have like a really solid, compact crew of people who compete all the time too. And then we have like a group of people who are more laid back, who are more hobbyists and all that.
I think that's important because if your gym only appeals to fighters, I'm here to tell you the gym can't sustain life very well.
Right.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We finally built a team where, and I think this is where the magic happens, is where you take the guys that do have that fight mentality, like everyone in this room. And if someone comes into this team that's overweight or like a terrible athlete, no one looks at them as like, oh, who is this? In fact, this team embraces that and looks at it from the other standpoint. Like, dude, if this person is down with us, let's turn them into a savage together.
Right. Like, welcome on the boat.
Yeah,
Fuck
bro.
yes, good for you.
Dude, there's
This is
nothing
awesome.
cooler than watching people make that transition too. When all of a sudden you're like, when did you become a fucking problem, dude?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Like, dude, when Easton made that
Oh my
transition, it
God.
blew my fucking mind.
Me
I was
too.
like,
I was
all
like,
of a sudden
oh,
I'm
no.
fighting for my life.
And bro, like, and it's funny because I like to tease Easton and call him out, and Easton's another one of my blue belts. But he went from not having a very good base, not having very good balance. A lot of what I call the intangibles of jiu-jitsu is where I can show you an armbar and you can drill an armbar, and when I'm watching you, it can look good, right? But when you slap and bump, to be able to get to the position to where that armbar becomes a viable option, there's strength, there's speed, there's balance, there's reading people's movements. Everything is happening in such real time. There's no real way to coach that. People just have to grow into that by doing it. And I swear to God, I saw it in Easton. I saw it in Alex, Big Alex,
That was huge.
where it's like,
It was overnight for him.
yeah, they're struggling to put together the intangibles, and then boom, one day it clicks.
Yeah.
And bro, that day comes and it clicks, you're a different man for the rest of your life.
Like forever. That's a skill you acquired. Now move on to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like no going back from there, because there's people who go years without training, but if they've hit that level, they come back. Like Big Tom out there.
Yeah.
Dude, he was not training for a couple years, right? He comes back and he's just right back in the mix.
No, it's awesome, man. The other thing about you, Zach, that I think made your journey very unique, what did you weigh when you joined the team?
Probably about 150 pounds, I think.
And you're what now, 170 something?
Somewhere, yeah, probably just over 170 at this point.
But I mean, and that's also 20 pounds of just pure fucking muscle. And at that weight, 20 pounds of muscle is substantial, right?
Oh my God. It's so different.
But I tell people this a lot because I think it's a good thing to think of or to think about. If you're the smallest guy in the room, which you were then, you don't have any option other than mastering technique.
And I think I have a huge advantage in that sense because, it's forced me to focus on those finer things as opposed to being able to rely on size and strength.
Yeah.
But then once you start to incorporate the size and the strength that you develop over time as well, now you have the technique and the size.
Bro,
and the
it's
strength
beautiful.
and the stamina.
And that's exactly why I think like this next generation of athletes, they've been doing it since they were children. So that same concept applied. Their bodies were small when they learned the concepts, and then they grow into these monster athletes with the knowledge in here. And that's fucking scary. Because dude, you start jiu-jitsu as, again, Craig at 270. I don't care how disciplined you are going to use 270 pounds of strength at times.
Yeah,
When
changes your game.
When that option is not available, it's pure. You have to focus on finesse, you know? And I've seen, dude, I forget who it was, but it's happened a handful of times where people that come in and out of the gym, they've walked in, they've seen you, and they're like, what the fuck, dude? That's Zach?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on, dude? I'm like, he's a savage. That's what's going on, dude.
Uh-huh.
Got thick out of
And
nowhere.
the funny
dude.
thing is, I don't even notice it because I see it every day. You know what I mean? And those little changes, everybody else sees it. And I mean,
Did you change other aspects of your fitness routine, your diet, your nutrition and stuff? Or is it just, okay,
absolutely.
that's what I figured,
Absolutely.
man.
Because back when I started training, I was running every day, like long distances, dude. I was running like 5, 6, 7, 8 miles. I would just run different directions, you know what I mean? For long periods
Yeah.
of time. And then I would do like a little bit of kettlebell workouts and stuff and calisthenics and shit. I've been doing yoga and ab workouts the whole time, but more recently, I have only been running like 1 to 2 times a week and then lifting a little bit. But the thing is that I'm noticing is that the more you give your body time to rest and recover, that's where you start to grow. So my weightlifting workouts are only like 20, maybe 30 minutes long, 2, maybe 3 times a week. I train Jiu Jitsu more than anything else, and then I run intermittently. But that's where, I mean, all the growth and calories.
Bro, I think you're onto something. I fucking wish that I learned that concept 20 years ago instead of like 2 years ago. Because you remember, dude, I do a lot of CrossFit downstairs with Jenny and Ange, almost every day, and then jiu-jitsu every day. And bro, when you pair CrossFit with jiu-jitsu, it feels like you got hit by a bus 7 days a week. And it's like, fuck, man, like, and sure, it does make you a better athlete in some capacity, but just like you said, if you can't grow, if your body is always struggling just to recover, then it's tough for it to make gains. And I found that too, like slow, heavy lifting. Like, and dude, Joao says it. He goes, bro, I train like a fucking animal on the mats, and in the gym, I train like a bodybuilder. Nice, slow, controlled reps. Because he goes, I'm not trying to build the dynamic side of being an athlete. I'm literally just trying to build my muscles and my strength.
Yeah.
And fuck, bro, it's worked for you. It's worked for him. So
Hell yeah.
there's something to it. What about you, Jake? I don't even know what fucking first enticed you to come through the doors.
Kind of like Zach. At first, it was podcasts. You know, Jocko, Rogan.
I need to start giving those dudes a commission on my memberships.
Yeah. And then I moved up here from Kirkland because I just got kind of sick of living in the city. It was blowing up, and I wanted to kind of move out more to the sticks-ish. You know,
Before or after you started training?
before I started training. And I moved up here, and I moved like across the street from the gym.
Are you in the neighborhoods right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I drive to work in the morning and see the sign out front. And I was like, well, I should probably try that. And I sent you an email, and you were like, yeah, dude, come on in. You're going to feel like a fish out of water. And I totally bitched out. And I didn't go. And then like a year later,
Oh, damn.
almost
you put it
exactly a year later, because I found the original email that I sent you. I think it was both in August. And I think COVID had just started, or we just shut down. And I noticed the cars in the parking lot. And I was like, that's what's up.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And came over here. And I think I started 2 weeks after you did, Skyler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started March 2021. So,
Okay.
yeah, so.
And fuck, bro. Like, and you also came from a pretty high level hockey background.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I played hockey my whole life.
And so like, and it's really interesting seeing the guys that are athletes, the guys that have background in whatever. It can be really any sport. But if you played a sport at a high level and then you jump onto the mats, it's usually pretty obvious. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, a funny hockey story. I took my girls ice skating at the ice rink in Everett last weekend. And the kid checking our skates in was missing a front tooth, right?
Yeah.
And no one thinks anything, you know, but
Yeah.
to me, I know you're a hockey player missing a front tooth.
Yeah.
He's in there missing a front tooth. And I was like, oh, this is a hockey thing. So I asked the kid, I said, hey, bro, I got a question for you. Is your teeth getting knocked out kind of like my ears? Like it's a thing of pride. He goes, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I was so excited to finally knock my teeth out. I was like, yes,
So wild.
I've made it.
Yeah.
I guess people think the same about the ears, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
like,
And
Those
so
are ugly as fuck.
So I said, so what's up with it? You're never gonna fix your teeth because it shows like, bro, I'm a fucking hockey player. And this kid's probably, I don't know, 20 or something. And he goes, no, kind of how it works is as long as you're active on some type of circuit, we don't fix our fucking teeth. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I didn't quite make the cut to be pro. He goes, I'm like right below that level. So he goes, I only got another season or two left in me before it's time to move on. He goes, so as soon as I wrap up this amateur career, whatever he called it. He goes, then I'll go get my teeth fixed. He goes, but all my homies that are moving up to the pro levels, no way are they fixing their teeth. Never.
No.
So I thought that was funny, man.
Yeah.
Because, dude, it's the same culture. It's just a different game we play.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember being really bummed out when I finally got my teeth fixed. Because I had them like on a retainer, you know? So
okay, so you could put them in and out.
Yeah, I'd take them out when it was go time. And then
So bro, don't you guys wear face masks?
I was a goalie, so I had the full-on helmet. But most of the players, no, once you're 16, I think is the age cutoff. They don't require a face mask. It's a helmet with like a visor.
How did you get your teeth knocked out?
So once I caught a puck in the mouth, and then
Wow, with that mask, that big mask.
So we had just scored a goal, and one of their players kind of threw a fit, and like I always kept a water bottle on the back of the net. So I turned around and lifted my mask up to take a drink of water, and someone yelled like, "Hey Jake, don't turn around." But all I heard was, "Hey Jake," and I turned around and
And that dude just fucking slung it at your head?
no, it was way at the other end, and he threw a fit, and he just kind of dished the puck.
I don't know what that means. Just fucking a little temper tantrum, whack. Okay.
Whacked it down to the other end of the rink.
Right in your fucking mouth.
Right in the fucking mouth. But then the really good one, where I knocked like 3 of these out right in front, was just playing hockey in the garage.
Oh,
Like
just drilling?
Just playing with a buddy, messing around. I went out to like poke it away from him, and we just kind of like hit sticks at a weird angle, and it went right up in my mouth, and boom,
You're
blew
like,
them all out.
yes, dude. I lost more teeth.
Yes. I was pumped.
Dude, you see that guy that, and correct me if I'm wrong, like in hockey, fighting is it acceptable or just not really frowned on?
It's totally part of the game.
Okay.
It's a strategic part of the game. It's kind of going away now because people started getting hurt more.
Well, that dude got his throat slit last month.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's gnarly, man.
Yeah, that's the second time that's happened. Anyway, yeah, it's part of the game. It's
So like a coach will be like, hey, go fuck that dude up.
yeah, like you'll have guys on the team that are there to be fighters. Like the goon squad. We had a goon. When I played in Texas, it was awesome. It's one of my favorite. I'll try to make it. It's like a short story.
No, bro, make it long. This is a long format podcast.
So I'm playing for Dallas, Texas. Not like pros, but like junior A, like silver tips level.
Okay.
You know? And we were getting ready to play against this team who was just garbage, and they were known for just being nasty, trying to hurt people, you know. So we kind of hold the whole first line back, and we bring out the big defenseman, and it's just, we know we're going to win because they're terrible, and we all just need to not get hurt. And we got this goon on our team who I never saw him play. He doesn't play hockey. He was there to fight, but
He can't even skate.
he could barely skate, but he was a Golden Gloves boxer. And he had like long blonde hair and a beard, and none of us did. We were all real young, and we thought this guy was like a god. He was Thor, you know. And so we bring him out to go play this team, and they go after one of our small kind of fast guys. And my coach taps him on the shoulder, is like, "Hey, go get him." And we're all like, "Oh shit, yes, here we go."
He's putting the goon in.
Oh, this is gonna be good. And he goes out and he points at the guy who did the dirty check. And he's like, "You want some of it?" And he's like, "Yeah." And the other guy throws his gloves off, takes his helmet off, whips it around, just, all over just pumped. And our guy, cool as a cucumber, takes his gloves off, puts them down, unbuckles his helmet. We're like, "Oh, he's gonna fuck him up." Goes out, and their guy, one punch KO. Knocks him the fuck out right at center ice. Head cracks off the ice. I mean, just done. And we're all like,
You didn't know your goon had a glass jaw, huh?
dude, it was the most disappointing thing.
Did he get cut?
Yes. He got cut that game.
He's like, bro, you had one job.
And you failed all the way. Yeah.
Did you win the game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like bad. It was like 8-0.
What was, I actually want to hear both of you guys, because again, I know Skyler's fucking journey being a lifelong wrestler. But what was your guys' initial reaction in comparison to what you kind of expected? Like, did you think you'd come in here and be like, "Oh, I can, I'm a hockey player, or I'm a good athlete," and then have that moment of like, "Oh fuck, dude."
Actually, Skyler gave me my moment of, oh, fuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like my third. I thought, yeah, I'm an athlete. I've always been a pretty naturally good athlete. Didn't have to work too hard at it, to be honest. I thought, I'll figure this out. Like, I'm going to be a black belt in 3 years.
BJ Penn.
Yes. Like, I'll get it. And then Skyler got on top of me and I could not get him off. And I was like, I panicked.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then you Ezekiel'd me so fucking hard that I couldn't talk for like 3 days.
Yeah, those are the worst.
It was nasty.
You wake up the next day and you're like, oh no, I'm sick. And then you're like, oh wait, I'm not sick. I got the fuck choked out of me last night.
Yeah. And that was kind of the moment that I was like, I'm going to figure this shit out.
Dude, I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But I love hearing that moment because I'm telling you, every single person has a moment or 2 or 3 or 1,000 like that. And those moments either motivate you, like you just said, or some people are like, fuck all that, dude. That fucking, that kid got on top of me and fucking strangled my neck so hard that I have to eat applesauce for a couple days. I'm done with that shit.
Yeah. And not like a trained killer, not like a SEAL, not.
Fuck SEALs. He's not like a ranger.
Not like a ranger. A dude who's the same size as me and a little younger. And there was nothing I could do about it.
Dude, I've never heard that story either, though.
Yeah, I didn't want you to.
I'm out here sharking all the good guys.
Yeah.
Well, and Zach, you already had a year under your belt, so you'd felt the reality of jiu-jitsu at your old place, I'm sure. Yeah.
I did. And I wasn't entirely sure what to expect, but you're right. And it's funny that you asked that because I was thinking about it before I came in here for this conversation with all of us I did have this moment where I was like, I am a pretty good athlete. I lift and I do yoga and I run and everything. And I feel like this is going to be somewhat of an accelerated process. But like you said, when I had started training, it was a lot of really, really tough people. So I didn't have a lot to compare myself with. I was just kind of accustomed to getting the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah.
And then as everybody else started to come in, that's when I was able to start to kind of get a little bit of a comparison, but it didn't necessarily go the way that I thought. I didn't think I was going to come in and just be like smashing, be like this total badass. I did kind of know how it was going to go. Mm-hmm. I did think that I was going to do a little bit better than I did though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a lot longer than I expected it to be.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Like, I thought I was going to progress a lot faster. I thought it was going to click easier and earlier.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, I could take what you were teaching and apply it as a formula, and now I can murder people.
Yeah.
But like, actually, you always say, like, the other guy gets a vote.
100%.
And that kind of fucks things up, you know?
Well, and the thing about fighting that is so much different than, maybe it's not different, but it's based around timing to the point where like, and all you guys are good enough now to feel like, dude, when you can kind of jump into the flow state and slap and bump and everything just, you settle in and you're reading the guy's timing and your timing's reacting off of his. When that is dialed in, that is what separates you from people that suck and people that are fucking elite. And how well you can hone that timing. That's why I honestly don't think, like, I talk about it all the time. Roger Gracie has 2 submissions he uses, or Keenan Cornelius has 5,000 different moves that he uses, right? Mm. There's not a right or wrong approach. I think what separates great from below great is how well you can read people's movements and then move your body in relation to theirs and then get them to where you want to be. And so like, yeah, you might be a one-trick pony, but you have to hone that edge of timing so fucking sharp to be able to get to where you want to be. Like, dude, when you know what someone's going to do and they can't stop it, that's the worst.
Oh yeah.
Like
or the best if you're on the other side of the coin, right? But that's, in my opinion, that's where the fucking magic happens, you know? And that's something that you can't teach. That's something you can't really explain other than like just discussing it how we are right now. But you can't explain how to hone that other than just hours of drilling and rolling. And that's it. You know, it's super fascinating because I think that concept is pretty well understood that that's where the magic happens. But getting there, the paths to get there, there's so many different ways, and it's hard to understand. You have to figure out how to get there in a manner that best suits you.
That's why I think it's like, it's timing, but it's also decision making.
Yeah.
You have to make the right decision in the right position at the right time. There's a lot going into every little decision that happens in a whole match.
But like he was just saying, it starts to become automatic.
Yeah,
You're not even really thinking about it.
That's right.
And the funny thing is that I try really hard to avoid heel hooks because I feel like heel hooking in the gi is like a dick thing to do because it's not,
cheeky,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you're not wrong.
I just wind up in that position. You know what I mean? Like escaping other positions, I just wind up and I'm like, fuck it.
Like I changed my whole passing game when you and I are rolling because I usually like to be in kind of tight, a lot of Toriando and just like fast back and forth, whippy back and forth till I get there.
Yeah.
But now I play a really long, like, don't touch my fucking feet game. Because if you're on your back and I get stood up, I know you're grabbing my foot. It's terrifying.
Well, and bro, that's one of the things that's beautiful about having like different training partners that have strengths at different ranges, right? Because you have to be able to have like outer range passing, like very far, mid-range passing where there's like a lot of connection, but you're circling your feet and your leg dragging and that kind of stuff. And then smash passes where I'm on top of you and I'm fucking taking your mobility away until I can get to where I want to be. But the interesting thing about that is your different opponents, man, some people want you at a far range. Some people want you close in. Like, to tell you the truth, I like when guys smash past me. Like, get in nice and close, put your weight on me, and then I can get good grips and circle a butterfly hook in. It's like, all right, now we're connected. Now I fucking got you. Whereas like when Muhammad from Cascade visited, like when we had that fucking gnarly round, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but he was on the outside, like just grabbing like the very cuffs of my pants, slapping back and forth. And for me personally, that's harder range to end up finding control with, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's weird. You gotta, from a passing perspective, you would think like, oh, these are my go-tos, but your go-tos really have to match up
with your
opponent's weakness and not their strength. And like, we start to know each other in the gym. That's why I'm an advocate of Friday night rolls. You start to try and pass someone's guard that you don't know what type of guard they've honed. And it's like problem solving in real time.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking fascinating, man.
Well, yeah. And like, you can't approach even like similar body types the same because of how someone's game is developed.
Right.
Like, you get two people with the exact same body type, try inside passing someone like Greg who has incredible butterfly hooks, and all of a sudden you're on your ass.
And you always will be. Until you're what, 25, right?
Yeah, that was the rule.
That's the rule. You're not going to beat me. Here, try and speak on the top of that mic. Is that
better?
Yeah, that's way better.
Oh shit.
So that's not my mic.
way better.
I'm borrowing from the Neanderthals because we have so many people in the studio today. Zach, I wanted to say this before we moved on. It's just a way of like showing you appreciation and not trying to hurt anyone else's feelings, but
I have hurt feelings.
this is as of right now, maybe this will motivate the other Ukies. I honestly think you're the best training partner in the gym. Straight up. And I put you above the black belts. I put you above everybody because I'm not saying you have the best jiu-jitsu in the gym.
I understand.
Daniel has the best jiu-jitsu in the gym. We all know that, right? Like, and he'll partner up and slap and bump with anybody and prove that. But I'm not looking for the best jiu-jitsu. I'm looking for the best training partner as an uke, right? And you have really mastered the ability, and Jake, you're getting right there too because you work with the kids so much, where your ability to turn the dial from 1 to 100 is so dialed in that I don't know if I've ever seen anyone that holds that type of understanding of energy, but also self-control. Because if you partner up with Christy Campbell and she starts to get the better of you with pure jiu-jitsu, you're going to still keep playing pure jiu-jitsu with her to see what happens. Yeah. Instead of saying, well, I can reach in my back pocket and pull my man strength out, right? But that's not what you want to bring to the jiu-jitsu table. And I've seen you do it with kids, with girls, with brand new people, and then just keep turning the dial up, up, up until it's like, hey, Sean Baker wants to pretty much fight you. Yeah. And then you'll just turn the dial to 100 and say, okay, let's fight. That's I want a lot of people that are new to jiu-jitsu to hear that, because I honestly think that's one of the most beautiful skills you can develop as a teammate. you've honed the ability to meet your teammates exactly where they need to be met. And like you go with these two guys, same thing, turn it up to 100 and we'll see where the chips fall. And then everything in between. And is that something that you've been cognizant of or just?
Yes. And I appreciate you saying that. You honor me by saying that, really. But in the beginning, I noticed that the harder I would press into people, the harder they would press back. And so a lot of the time I'm just trying to be able to continue with like that dance, like you said, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have the ability to turn it up, but I also, I try to be as respectful as possible of the people that I'm rolling with and try not to, because I feel like, by using strength, the man's strength and too much pressure and stuff like that, it's sort of a dick thing to do, you know? So in the beginning,
depending on the opponent, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that goes without saying. So right in the beginning, I always do a little bit of a pressure test. I just move in slow, start to get grips, and I see what they're going to put out and then try to meet them on that level. And there are plenty of rounds to be going 100% fucking death rounds, especially with these guys.
Yeah.
But I've even noticed it. I like watching you and Bill go, right? And Bill is a visiting black belt.
Oh, yeah.
And he is not a fucking smasher. He is a tactical technique player. And you meet him with, hey, we understand, like, I'm going with the black belt who is very, very good. But I'm going to, since he's a technique player, I'm going to try and play technique against him.
Dude,
you know?
And I think that is one of the best times to focus on your technique, because we both set up the perfect pace of about 60, 70%. And it's a dance. It's a give and take a little bit. So I'll advance a little bit, then he'll advance a little bit, and I'll advance a little bit, and he'll advance a little bit, all the way up to the point of a submission that we will like catch lightly and then just let it go and keep going.
Yeah.
And just keep flowing through that for the 6 minutes. So he's one of the people that I will specifically choose right when I get here to warm up with. Got it.
Okay. Man, Bill's fucking brain is similar to everybody. You three, not me. I don't absorb jiu-jitsu like you three do. I've just been doing it 4 times as long, you know? But I mean, when Bill started cross training with us, I think he was like a mid-level brown belt.
No, man, I remember him being a purple belt.
Was he a purple belt?
Yeah.
That's right. He was a purple belt.
Right when I started, that was about 3 years ago. He was a purple belt.
And bro, I could do whatever I wanted to. And that fucking dude's technique is so frustrating because he'll do things that I don't do. And if you do things that you don't do, it's hard to have the cognition to understand what the antidote or what the answer to that problem is. And he'll like snap my lapel down and then like wrap it around his knee or something. Yeah. And it's like, that looks stupid. What are you doing? Oh, I can't pass your guard now. Yeah. Oh, now I'm actually stuck. Fuck you, Bill. And I actually went home one night and like, you know, you go home and have conversations with yourself in the mirror. And it's like, listen, Bill's my friend. He's brought nothing but positive energy to this gym and everybody loves him. But just so you're clear, and by you, I mean, I'm talking to myself. The next time you slap and bump, you're chewing his guard like fuck and fucking spitting it out. And then you're going to armbar him over and over and over. And I like visualize this as like, that's how it's going to go, to the point where I believed it too. You know, it's like, because I don't know if you guys do that. Do you visualize matches?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
For sure.
And then, fuck yeah, all right, Bill's here. All right, I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. But that means that motherfucker he's occupying my brain, right? Like, he's winning this already. And bro, we slap and bump and he sits and does that same shit where he wrapped it around his knee and I was stuck again. I was like, this didn't go.
No, it's almost like
this didn't go at all. Like I know, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's key, bro.
Yeah, it's weird.
Pointed that out the other day. Is that when we were rolling and you caught me, dude. You caught me after I don't know how many wins.
Fucking finally.
But you were like, you know what I did? I stopped caring.
Dude.
So say it again.
The less you care, the better you're performing.
Yes.
God, isn't that a
Zach
weird
had
thing?
this fucking stalemate forever where we were rolling again and again and again and we were not tapping each other out. And then one day he got me and I was like,
what'd he catch you with? Do you know?
Armbar.
Okay.
And I was
the
like,
essence of jiu-jitsu.
I was like, fuck. Yeah, it was upstairs. Yep. And then we just started playing this game forever. And then at one point, you finally got like 2 or 3 up on me, like another arm bar and a couple heel hooks. And then I wanted it so bad. And I just could not get him. And then the other day we were just training. I finally decided, fuck it. He got me. He wins. I don't give a fuck anymore.
It is.
And we were just rolling.
Freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the best round I'd had with you. And I didn't even really think about it until you said that afterwards, that I finally caught you like, hey, it's about time.
Well,
I was like, oh yeah.
I noticed that when I'm rolling with higher belts, because in my mind, I'm like, I'm probably not going to win this. But if I don't get submitted, that's a victory. If I get a sweep, that's a victory.
Yep.
You just get to let those things go. But the higher belts are like, I can't let this guy submit me. It's a fucking blue belt.
No.
I'm a black belt, brown belt, purple belt. You know what I mean? So they have that pressure where we don't.
Right.
To just let it go.
Dude, that's a beautiful thing, right? And I remember when I was with Boucher's gym, I'm sure I've told all you guys this, but he told me, he's like, Greg, because he could tell I was getting frustrated because he just beat the brakes off me every single round that we went, right? And he's like, Greg, listen, man, you don't have anything to worry about. If we slap and bump, and we do it 1,000 times, how many times are you going to beat me? I said, fucking 0, dude. He goes, no, that's wrong because this is still jiu-jitsu. He goes, you're going to beat me 1 out of 1,000. Because there's going to be an opening. You're going to see it here. You're a brown belt. Like, if an opening comes up and you catch it, you can submit me. That's jiu-jitsu. So every single time you roll with me, just say, today's probably the 1 in 1,000. And then it's like, it's freeing because it's making that conscious understanding. This dude is a fucking monster that just mauls me. But there's still the chance. And today's probably that day that the chance happens.
Just do the best you can.
Yeah, just do the best you can, you know? So Skyler, I know I'll say it on the podcast because I've mentioned it a couple times that I already know your jiu-jitsu story, but you were driving your little brother to practice.
Yeah. My mom had just told me, hey, take Jet to practice today. And I was like, all right, fuck yeah, I'll take him to practice, whatever. And then, I just brought him here and was watching you coach, and then all the kids were throwing down. There was a bunch of little killers in the room. And then like at one point in the middle of practice, you walked up to me and you're like, when the fuck are you going to start training? And I was like, well, I'll fucking stay tonight and train.
Yeah, well, tonight.
Well, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Couldn't back down to the challenge, dude.
But as a life, I mean, how many years did you wrestle growing up? A lot, right?
Yeah. 10 or more.
Okay.
Around there.
And so you're like, okay, I've been grappling my whole life. So I remember you told me, like, in your mind, you're like, all right, I'm a fucking grappler too. I'll fucking throw down with these dudes and show them what's up.
I was like, dude, everybody's lunch today. Dude, and it did not go that way. I was having a lot of success with some things. Like every time we were standing up neutral, I was having success and I was getting double legs. But then like I started rolling with like some of the blue and up belts, and then all of a sudden I'm getting fucking guillotined. And I've never been guillotined like that.
Like, you can't do that.
I was like, hey, dude, what the hell is this? It stops after I double. You're supposed to belly down. What's going on? But no, the rules are different here. And then you got to adapt, and then it's very different game you're playing.
Do you remember any specific incidents either that night or early on where it was just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, dude, I think I rolled you. I think you saw me having success, and you're like, this can't be fucking happening. And then you came over and you put out whatever ember I thought I had. Just smashed me, smothered me. And I was like, I don't think I'd ever been put in a position ever where I was like, dude, what the fuck is this guy doing right now? Like, ever. I wrestled a long time. It had been a long time since I had felt that kind of like anxiety, that, oh shit. It had been forever. And that ignited something in me that like I needed to come back. I needed to do that to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And I remember you pulled me aside at the top of the stairs and you said, hey man, this is what I do now.
Yeah. I was like,
I'll never forget that phrase because it was exactly what you said to me. And then no shit. I mean, what are we at? 3 years now?
Coming on 3. Yeah.
3 years of this is what I do now. Almost every fucking night.
Almost every night, dude. I just decided this is literally what I'm dedicating myself to. It was the most rewarding thing I had done in forever. I hadn't done anything athletic for real, like little bullshit workouts here and there, but I hadn't done anything that really grabbed me like that since.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about wrestling outside of the top of the food chain that moves on to become and have a collegiate career.
Yeah.
High school is where it ends.
Right.
And it's like,
you're
dude,
done.
I literally dedicated 10 years of my life to this art. It's my passion. I loved it. And then imagine like if you played guitar every single day, and then when you turn 19, it's like, set that thing down and you don't get to pick it up ever again. That's weird.
Well,
right?
and it's like this skill you spent so much time acquiring just gets put like on a library shelf to collect dust, and then it's perishable. It starts to go away after a while.
Quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. Your shape goes away within weeks. You're having to retrain all of that to get your cardio back. It's miserable.
Fuck, man. What are you guys, now that you have a full understanding of jiu-jitsu and you're good literally everywhere, what do you guys feel like you're still struggling with or currently struggling with? Is there anything that's eating at you guys?
Yeah, personally for me, it's takedowns. My takedowns still need some serious work. Yeah.
I think takedowns are something that, well, fuck, you've been doing a lot of takedowns though for a long time. And it's
mostly guard pulling. I have the occasional hip throw, just little things that happen randomly, but I can't make them work consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's so takedowns are not necessarily like the rest of jiu-jitsu because you have the time and the patience to slow things down and practice them. Plus, I think takedowns are probably like, what, 10%? You start out standing up, but then you always wind up going to the ground, and that's where you spend most of the time fighting.
Yeah.
So the takedowns, it's a very fast, precise thing. It's all about like speed and commitment and precision. And then, you go from there. So, I don't feel like I've been getting in enough time. But I also only really do no-gi on Sundays. And then we don't always do takedowns in gi classes.
Yeah. I think the best word that you said in regards to takedowns is commitment.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I can't, even to this day, it's like I'm squared up with the guy and I'm circling, he's circling, and you're changing your angles and what you're trying to do is get your hips to match up to that perfect angle so I can boom, blast double.
Yep.
And it almost never happens. And instead of waiting for the perfect position, you have to shoot when it's almost perfect or sometimes just okay.
Yeah.
And then see what happens, And before you know it, it can be 2 minutes have went by circling each other. You've wasted so much time and so much jiu-jitsu. Fucking just commit, And I tell the kids that very often when we're wrestling. It's like, dude, just shoot and see what happens.
Well, like very seldom do wrestlers get shots off of their first attempt. They're going 3-4 deep. It's all chain wrestling. That's where that phrase kicks in. It's their fourth shot that was successful, not their first one.
Yeah.
The first one was just to get head position below the opponent. Then the second one was to get the hips closer. Third one was to finish. Or
I thought it was really interesting earlier today. I was watching a video of Daniel Cormier wrestling, and that was actually my takeaway. As I noticed, he just kept shooting for stuff constantly, like a buzzsaw.
pressure.
And
Like bad
90%
angles, bad grips, but we're just going to make it
just
work.
reaching for ankles, just ducking under, going for a fire, everything. Until eventually he gets the guy.
Because then, and I understand this concept very, very, very well once we're in the jiu-jitsu realm, but in the wrestling realm, it's just still not honed to that same level where it's like the initiative is key, right? Like if I'm choking you, you have to defend a choke. So I'm carrying the initiative. Same thing you said about DC right there. If he's shooting, I have to defend. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I get back up and it's like, okay, I'm ready to, now it's my turn to go on oh fuck, he has my ankle. And it's like, if you can carry that initiative banner, it's hard to ever settle in when you're the other guy.
Yeah, you're caught in a defensive cycle the whole time. You got
being defensive sucks.
It's
dude.
terrible.
It's
terrible. I want every decision made on this mat to be mine. I don't want you to have a vote in any of this.
100%.
Yeah.
From bell to bell, I'm dictating everything.
And it rarely works out that way.
Yeah, I know. What about you, Jake?
Positional escapes
Pretty
much rely on being flexible and kind of a Gumby and fast. But like the technical side of my escapes is just garbage. Like someone who's good at pinning, it's a real issue for me. Yeah.
Bro, you need to take a page out of Daniel's book.
Yeah.
his way of escaping is just, I don't want to be here anymore.
I'm done. I'm done. Just get up.
Dude, he is the personification of just get up.
Dude, doesn't work if you just get up. You're like, he's done.
He was telling me that, and I went and just picked a couple of white belts to, and you play that game of like, okay, go ahead and put me in whatever you want to put me in. And Dan was telling me, just stand up. So I was trying to just practice just standing up, and it worked obnoxiously well.
Dude, it worked so good.
It was hilarious.
I no longer want to jujitsu. You're doing good.
Right.
You just get up.
It's funny, like all the just get up memes, they seem kind of silly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's to people that don't train, when they say that, it's like, okay, let me get on top of you and then just get up, right? But the one thing I will say about that is we are so conditioned to continuously engage each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As opposed to, like, if I can get a frame on your neck and I can do a technical stand-up, well, fuck, that's better than being in side control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it is an option. I just don't think kind of how we practice and how we're conditioned to practice, we typically stay engaged.
Yeah.
Like,
you kind of have tunnel
like you
vision.
don't see guys, if I'm stuck in your guard, like break grips and then just completely back away, right? And lose all control and then come back in.
Right.
But the thing is, that's actually, sometimes that's a good technique, And so the same thing would apply there.
Right.
However, again, it goes back to knowing your opponent, right? Like, I don't think I would almost rather fight Jordan from side control until I can get a butterfly hook in and sweep instead of getting back to my feet and getting blast doubled again.
Totally. Yeah.
A funny thing about Jordan that he made me realize, because I've said for the last 20 years, pulling guard, like we make fun of pulling guard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I teach pulling guard. I pull guard when I train all the fucking time. Yeah. But I would always say too, like, pulling guard is not a self-defense mechanism. It is a sport of jiu-jitsu mechanism. And then I thought about a scenario where I was like, dude, what if me and Jordan had some gnarly falling out for whatever reason? It's like some bad blood boiled between us. And we're texting each other like, next time I see you, you're fucking dead, right? And then we run into each other in the fucking parking lot of Safeway.
Right.
I'm pulling guard in a street fight. 100%.
Well,
yeah,
dude,
I guess that guy
hurts.
That's what I'm saying.
Coming flying down
because he's blast doubled me so hard in the mat room that it's knocked ribs out of place. Like it's gnarly, right? And then that made me realize, there absolutely is some type of application to pulling guard in a street fight. Or like, now I'm going to show my age, but do you guys remember Rodrigo Nogueira, the Minotauro brothers in Pride?
I remember the Minotauro.
And he came over and won the UFC heavyweight champion too. That back in the day, he took it from Tim Sylvia. But that was kind of his go-to in Pride. He'd shoot a double, and he didn't have beautiful wrestling, but kind of like you said, just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But his whole game, if he gets the double, awesome. If he doesn't, he has connection to you now, and then he pulls you into guard, right? And as a high-level black belt, okay, now I have connection to you. That's really that's what I'm looking for, as opposed to I want you in mount, but the next best thing might be fucking full guard, And so, you might get in a fucking road rage incident where you pull over. It's like, let's go, motherfucker. And it just so happens to be that guy. You never know, right?
You never know. Especially right now, dude. Everyone's training right now.
And it's like, and it's funny because in my brain, I'm like, dude, if someone can kick the shit out of me in Western Washington, I probably know who they are. Like, that's what I tell myself. Oh, yeah. But who the fuck knows? Dude, there might be some logger that you like just never trained a day in his life, dude.
Dude, or he wrestled since he was 10 like Jordan and just fell off the face of the planet for a bit.
And his job is throwing logs on a truck.
Well, bro, the reason I say that is Daniel will tell you, this guy named Jamie came by and he actually signed up. He trained for 6 months or something and didn't have any martial arts background. And he was kind of overweight, looked like kind of dad bod, but he was an arborist, bro.
Okay.
What the fuck, man? Like,
yeah.
And it made me realize it's like, dude, that's why we train, because there's fucking people like you out there.
Right.
And he would grab a hold of you and it's like, dude, you don't even know what you're doing and it hurts,
Yeah. we're like, man, that's another thing I really learned from this gym is like what Sky was saying. You don't know who trains. Like, I feel so bad for the motherfucker who decides to try to bully Hayden.
Oh, I know, dude.
It's going to be a problem. He's going to have a broken arm.
Oh my God. The dude's a killer and you'd never know it.
And then he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, for sure.
you know,
Right.
fuck. And Hayden's our 16-year-old. I love telling people about Hayden because he's a 16-year-old kid that's on like the high school robot building team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Robot club.
Dude.
It's like he's on the robot club and he'll kill you with his bare hands.
Whenever he wants.
And you remember, like, dude, and this, like, it's funny. I'm letting him work one night, right? And I'm not taking anything away from him. If I turn it to 10, Hayden doesn't get very good training with me, right? So I back it down so we can have a good round. But by backing it down, that doesn't mean I'm letting him win. Mm-hmm. That means I'm like we just talked about with you, Zach, I'm meeting him where he needs to be met for optimal training. And the next thing I know, someone was shaking my feet. And it's like, where, you know what, like, have you guys been put out yet?
Yeah, dude, you put me out during instruction.
you can't say that on the podcast. But you wake up, it feels like you're waking up from a dream. Like you're in your bed and like, what is going on right now?
Why is everyone in my room right now?
Why is everybody looking at, fuck you, Hayden. What about you, Skyler? What did I say? Not going well?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's not going well right now?
Oh, man. Well, I feel like I try to like do stuff outside of my norm, like certain seasons in jiu-jitsu. There's times where I'm trying to hone like my specialty, like my arm bars and my straight ankles and all of that and my wrestling. But then there's times where I'm like, all right, I need to really work on my defense. That's something that like I definitely need more practice with, is because I'm really focused on constantly being in an offensive cycle when I'm rolling, because I like to simulate how I would compete, right?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for me to transition to just like letting people completely overtake, and then I'm just working armbar defense for that day. But that's something that I've been doing more recently, where I'm letting people work on more stuff and I'm trying to work more defense, depending on who I'm rolling with.
Man, I think that is such a difficult balance to find.
Yeah.
Because like people always say, check your ego at the door. But I want to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I don't want to come in and slap and bump and lose on purpose, right? Like,
there's a balance.
So I want to win, but I also want to hone things like you said. Like if all you hone is your strengths and then you go compete and some guy's holding you in side control.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, dude.
It's a totally different game.
And maybe that's it's a good thing for me to think about often from a coaching perspective, is like, that's why there's a lot of value in rotation.
Yeah.
Because now you're not choosing to be put in side control and having to go through that like emotional balance of where do I want to be today?
Yeah.
Just like, no, let's do side control.
Side control.
You know?
Or like, no, situational rotations are probably like my favorite way we train here.
Agreed.
Yeah, like when we do Shark Tank and then it's like, oh no, you're just defending someone on your back for the next 10 minutes. Have fun. That's like, you have no choice, dude. Survive.
You know what I get a kick out of is when people, Daniel is a prime example. He'll lose a rotation round and be really upset with himself. And
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, he started with 2 hooks in and fucking full back control and control of your collar. I know, but fuck, man, I couldn't escape. Well, yeah, exactly. Right?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And it's like, on one hand, I love that everyone on our team is very averse to losing. Like, that's a special team. And bro, competition checkmat, like nobody's getting anything on you. We're fighting to fucking kill each other. But then the other side of that coin is Gordon Ryan saying he gets submitted 20 times a night.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, look where he's at. And I think the correct answer is probably like, you need to have a lot of rounds where there's some ego and I'm trying to roll or I'm trying to win. But then when you're rolling with your homies and your close teammates, instead of being focused on winning, focus on getting better. And that's a really, really hard balance, you know, because I don't care who the fuck you are. When you decide you want to win and you can't win, it hurts in here a little bit. So then it's hard to find that balance, like, oh, okay. Or there's other times where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna just kind of see what happens today and allow myself to be put in bad positions. And then people start like pouring it on you, and fuck this, dude. It's on.
No, dude, we're fighting now.
So, but everybody thinks more rotation training, huh? You think that should just be part of a nightly thing, kind of?
So,
I love
dude,
rotation.
I can't get enough rotation.
There's a lot of advantage.
I agree, man.
Specifically.
And bro, I'd never even heard of rotation until I trained with Bouchesha. It's a big part of what he believes in too.
Because one of my biggest forms of defense, if I have a hard time with something, is avoiding letting someone put me in that position to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't, because in the very beginning, we got really good at defending those positions that we would spend a lot of time in. Then as you start to have more of a say in it, you can selectively avoid certain positions. And then you never have an opportunity to work on them. Well, whereas rotation, it puts you in those positions specifically, even with really bad odds, with the collar grips in, or like in an arm bar, with them holding on to your ankle in like a single leg X, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to try to work from there.
Which is tomorrow.
Single leg X.
Regular X and single leg X. So we're going to work both.
Good.
I'm back to coaching, so I'm excited.
Great.
But one thing I've noticed is like when you get really good, just like you said, if you get really good at defending a position, like, dude, I don't ever have guys be on my back anymore. Like there's plenty of people in here that have the capacity to beat me, but very rarely do I get beaten because someone's on my back. But when I do rotation training, every single time Tyler Stanaway's on my back, I'm tapping out. And it's like, okay, great. You've defended your ability to keep him off of your back. Because when me and Tyler slap and bump, I don't want to let him get to my back. But if he gets there, I'm fucked. And so that's a problem, right?
His back control is
The
terrifying.
dude is a force of fucking nature.
Bro, his back control is the best I've ever seen.
It's fucking stupid.
And then once
Him and Lucas Leitch. And Lucas Leitch is multiple world champion. You know what I'm saying?
once he gets that slightest grip, he's on your back and he's got the slightest grip of that lapel.
Bro,
and
it
he
can be
just
down by your belly button.
pulling it down.
And it just
pulling it down. And you can have both hands on his arm trying to hold it down, and he's
like,
still climbing that lapel, and you're like, oh fuck.
and you
you're-
just watch it happen.
And that's what I was just going to say. It's like what we said earlier. When you know something's happening and you can't stop it. And it's like, exactly, two hands pulling as hard as you can. It's like, bro, I know you're strong, but I'm fucking strong. So fuck you. What's happening right now? Doesn't matter, dude. You know? And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not ever going to get reps of defending that unless I say, bro, get on my back and let's see what happens. You know?
Yeah.
All right. The other side of the coin, what do you feel like in your current journey is fucking like really coming together right now? Is there anything that you're proud of that you're like, fuck yes, man, I feel it?
I'm super proud of my foot sweeps right now.
Oh,
I'm working
really?
on with Zeb and Zane a little bit.
Fuck.
You know, low commitment, not dangerous, like a double leg. I mean, I haven't been wrestling for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a risky thing for me.
And
I'm
it's
getting
and
beat.
like we said, it's a commitment,
Yeah.
you know?
But learning different, gripping patterns and stuff, and then just start chopping away at feet. It's really been going well for me.
It's funny you say that because I've recently thought like that needs to be something, because I've tried it recently and I don't have the technique of foot sweeps very well, but they work surprisingly well. Just fucking boom. Dude, I kind of don't even know what I'm doing and it worked.
Even if you don't get it, you're throwing them off balance.
Yeah.
And then they got to start thinking. You start stunting their thought process by those fucking foot sweeps.
Well, and as soon as you said foot sweeps, I was like, I wonder if you're spending more time with the morning guys. And yep,
Yeah.
those fucking dudes are encyclopedias of judo.
It's amazing.
Do you know who Justin Flores is? J-Flow?
No.
Follow him on Instagram.
Okay.
I've met him a couple months back. Him and I actually taught a seminar together where I taught a gi. You were there. Yeah. Remember, I did the gi portion, and then he came in and taught a no gi portion right as we left, and to the same group of people. And he's a high-level wrestler and a black belt in judo.
Okay.
And his foot sweeps on Instagram, bro, it's mind-blowing, dude. J-Flow. J-Flow is his, I forget exactly what his Instagram is, but that's what he calls himself on Instagram.
Okay. I'll find him.
And bro, it's fascinating stuff, dude.
Yeah.
foot sweeps.
Yeah, there's like a Nicky Rod video where he's showing like just timing on foot sweeps. It's like we were talking about earlier. That's one of those moves that's 100% timing based.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to hit it right as they're committing weight to that foot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like as they're stepping right before it makes contact, boom, and get that banana peel effect.
Right. Or then if you're trying to transition to a different one, like you miss it or they put too much weight on it, so you're just kind of like kicking a stump, to then redirect and try to go for the other foot and kick them over that way. You know, I just think it's so cool.
All right, I want you to teach me this stuff.
Okay. For something that's like, it's such a basic move, like it's not a real technical thing. It's not barambolos, you know, it's so simple. You're just knocking a foot out of the way.
Yeah.
It requires so much repetition to get right. Like it's so tough. I mean, I've just spent so much time on it and they're okay.
Well, you've seen those brothers like do their dancing routines where it's like up and down the mats, back and forth. They'll have their like gi grips and like kicking the feet and like that judo rhythm that they have fucking honed over years and years and years.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, those fucking dudes are special, man.
Oh yeah.
I have people tell me all the time, like, dude, what? And it's cool because our gym has, like, you already said it, multiple cultures with under one roof, but everybody still gets along and respects each other and like everybody's homies. But that morning crew, there's some interesting shit going on with those guys.
Totally.
You know what I mean? They sit on their knees and bow to each other and shit. Because I told them, I was like, you guys are black belts, and I want to give you the autonomy to build your curriculum and build the culture around how you want to train. Mm-hmm. Because I don't feel like if I'm going to give you a key and ask you to run a full morning curriculum, if you're competent to do that, if I micromanage that, I actually think that if I said, hey, teach my curriculum, and I've had people tell me like, bro, your gym needs to be all under the same curriculum. Having two different ones is not good for overall like gym cohesion. I disagree, man.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like it's like cross training almost.
I know, right?
When I go to the
Almost
morning
a
class
totally different
and then you
place.
go to it's a totally different thing. It's kind of like my secret weapon.
And maybe if their jiu-jitsu and my jiu-jitsu was very similar, a cohesive curriculum would make sense. But if I were to write a curriculum for them, bro, it's like they have fucking decade of judo. I can't write a curriculum that would bring what they need to bring out, you know?
Yeah.
And Zane is another one, bro. He used to be, I think when I first met Zane, he was like 135 pounds or something. And now he's fucking almost my size.
Parker?
Yeah, dude. It's fucking nuts,
I think
dude.
he told me he was like 190.
He's something like that.
What the fuck?
Shredded too.
Yeah.
You know?
Terrifying.
I got a good Zane story that I can't tell on the podcast. So
yeah, I think
you've
I know
heard it?
which
Okay.
one. Yeah. It's the one I think of every time his name's brought up.
Yeah. Oh, did that camera go out right here? Yeah, it looks like it fucking.
The shutter's closed.
All right, keep talking for a second. I'm going to fucking get that started again.
It's a real professional outfit you got going
I know,
on.
dude.
Well, I always say I fucking hate video because YouTube hates me and they censor shit.
Oh, sure.
But I've never had that happen before. One of the memory cards just said, because I got it all set up before you guys got here and everything was working fine. And it said one of the memory cards became corrupt and it can't recover the file. So fuck that memory card.
Excellent. Super cool.
We'll just change it to one camera angle. So for the first half of the video, if you're watching on YouTube, you didn't get to see me and Skyler's beautiful face, and they got to stare at you guys the whole time.
I'm sorry to the viewers.
What about you, Zach? Anything feel like something that's really clicking and coming together and working well?
Yeah, I think everything, this is the point in my jiu-jitsu journey where everything is starting to come together a little bit. But if I had to say that there's one thing that I feel like is going the most well, I would have to say that my arm bars are getting pretty fucking nasty.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's fucking
And
rad.
I love when I see like the up and coming killers armbarring the fuck out of everyone.
Oh, dude.
Being my favorite submission, it just warms my heart. And dude,
You can armbar from everywhere.
bro, you can armbar from everywhere. I'll tell you right now, your armbars from guard are probably the best in the gym.
dude, that's a huge compliment.
It's the truth, man.
I
Like,
hate them.
I can, like, if I get on top of people, like my guard, I want to sweep you because all of my armbar setups are from topside control. And I watch you fucking snatching arms on dudes like Craig, and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
From
Like,
closed guard.
yeah, from like, I can't fucking do that. I've never armbarred Craig from closed guard, ever, not one time. And I watch your hips just fucking spin and snap, and it's like, it was it was either this week or last week. You were rolling with him and you got it.
Yeah.
And bro, he went like fucking gorilla. And I could see him trying to back that arm out, back that arm out, back that arm out. And I was like, he's going to get it again. And he finally got it out right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that
bro,
was last week.
you make him
remember
fucking think. Like, there's no, if someone's in your closed guard, and that's the beauty of like having attacks from all these different areas. Now, regardless if you're going for that or not, it's in the back of his fucking head, right?
Dude, that was something I was actually pretty conscious of when I was developing my game. I was like, I know where I'm strong. I've grappled a lot. Like, I know where I can beat a lot of these guys, and it's in the neutral territory, which doesn't really get you much in jiu-jitsu other than a good starting position. But that was like real conscious of me at the beginning, is I was like, okay, well, I need to have attacks from just about everywhere that I can. And that's how I got my arm bars started. And then from there, it was like, then I started venturing more into foot locks and stuff too. Cause I was like, I'm strong on top, but I want to have more. I want to be a submission threat from just about any position.
And you're there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like from closed guard for me, I'm usually looking for kimuras, just because I feel like if you can latch onto that, regardless if you can finish it or not, it gives you literally 50 different options. You can sweep, you can back take, there's a lot of different things you can do. As far as catching an actual armbar, and it's funny because like armbar from guard is something that is literally part of like a 101 curriculum.
Yeah.
Hey, look, fucking, pull the arm across and turn your body 90 degrees. They don't work though.
They do.
I was gonna say,
You got to be long to make them work.
but it also, it's a, to go back to timing thing, the timing of the way you turn your hips and bite is unlike I've seen with most people. For me to get an armbar from guard, I have to do the Danaher 101. I have to jump to top lock, isolate that shoulder, and once that arm's already stuck, and they're like, God damn it. And then you start to progress to where I get the right angle and then take the arm. To do it all at once is something that I still can't do. And I watch you do it to everybody. And it's like, I'm a fucker, man. I got to learn that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
So then you would say is that what's going well for you right now too? Arm bars from guard?
Arm bars everywhere. Armbar city. Arm bars from back is actually what I've been working more.
I love arm bars from back.
Dude. Yeah. Sometimes people really defend a choke, but you get that Kimura from the back, and then all of a sudden they forget they're in danger. You're like, dude, this is just as bad for you.
Dude, and I think, and again, like there is no right or wrong, but the reason I love the armbar over almost every other submission is because for me it feels like, all right, I've defeated whatever your offense is. I've killed your guard. I have your shoulders on the mat. Like you have consistently been losing now in the different realms of jiu-jitsu. And now taking your arm is like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's the last step.
And it feels to me like kind of the overall essence of jiu-jitsu as opposed to like Imanari to a heel hook, right?
Yeah.
But again, like, did you guys see that percentage thing from Nogi Worlds this year?
Was it percentage of submissions?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's this guy who makes YouTube videos called Less Impressed, More Involved. And he does a breakdown of all the data coming from ADCC and what the most popular submission, like who initiated the contact, then who got the submission from there. But wasn't it heel hook was the #1 submission?
Yeah. So out of, let's see here. I don't know if this is percentage, I guess. And this is the 2023 IBJJF Nogi Worlds. The highest percentage was 23% heel hooks. So to say that they're not something that is the essence of jiu-jitsu, like I just said, because I said the armbar is, you go compete against the best guys in the world, and that's what's happening the most. So to say there's not validity in it, people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I feel like you just justified me heel hooking in the gi.
There you go. That's no gi, though.
Take that back. Take that back.
That's no gi. Then the next one is rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Which that, again, is essence of jiu-jitsu, right? I have your back. You can't escape. Now I take your neck.
I think the problem with heel hooks, the why people don't like them, is because you can be in a relatively neutral position and throw up a heel hook where like back, armbar, you have to have progressed like you were talking about. You have to beat
You have to out-grapple someone.
Positionally.
Yeah.
Which is what grappling is I'm beating you positionally in all of these different stages. But like heel hook is almost like flipping the board like, fuck you.
Honestly, the reason I'm not a big heel hook fan, it's less that, and it's more like, okay, so for an arm bar, I got a long way. There's a lot of pain involved before my arm snaps.
Yeah.
I deserved it at that point because there was pops. It hurt way before my arm broke in half. The heel hook,
They're scary, bro.
it's like, if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to apply a heel hook, or if I don't know a good escape, like there's not a lot of pain, and then my knee explodes.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm out of work for 6 months.
Well, and bro, that's an important point to bring up. And like me and Will were talking about it because we see like you guys who are kind of the top of the food chain blue belts of the gym. And when you say that, people don't understand what the fuck that means. That means a lot. Like good blue belts are fucking killers, dude. And these new guys walk in off the street and they see you guys fucking all hunting on for heel hooks, and then they want to try it, right? And it's like, okay, on one hand, it's cool that a new guy wants to just jump in and start trying stuff. But motherfucker, you don't even know what a guard pass is yet.
Oh, dude.
And I do feel like while there is a lot of validity to the knee bars and the ankle locks and the heel hooks, pump the brakes a little bit. I think you shouldn't start to go after that until you have a full understanding of what jiu-jitsu is.
Absolutely.
Which I think is, for me, I would say mid to upper level blue belt is when it all starts to come together for you.
It absolutely requires finesse.
Yes.
To be able to get it, look at the dude and be like, hey, I got this, right? And if they want to keep fighting, you just got to put that little bit of pressure to let them know that like it's game over for you.
But
We've
also
actually had that literal moment before where you get it in on me and I'm trying to escape and I'm trying to roll and stuff. And you're like looking at me, you're like, hey man, I can put this on more, or do you want to just accept what I got?
You see the beauty in that, right?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you were too stupid to tap and Zach had you in a heel hook, he's not going to be like, well, Jake's a dumbass. Rip. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Whereas like, and this isn't a dig at Anthony. Anthony is one of my favorite white belts, but Anthony still has a hard time turning the dial back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, cause I'll hear him grunting sometimes. Right? If you're grunting when you're rolling, we got to dial it back a little bit, right? I don't want someone on a heel hook that still grunts. I think that's going to be.
That's a fair rule. I like that rule.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
You know? So then below rear naked choke was armbar, which is not surprising because
no-gi.
Yeah, isolating the arm no-gi is substantially harder than it is gi. Like dude, the friction of the gi locks that shit in way fucking tighter. Yeah. And what's surprising is right below arm bar is arm triangle. I would think those would be switched because back when I was training MMA and a lot of no-gi, bro, that was my bread and butter because it doesn't matter once you're mounted and you can control the elbow and you just start walking it up. Like, dude, that was my go-to. A funny story, actually. I got my purple belt just randomly one night because I put 2 other purple belts to sleep as a blue belt with arm triangles. Dude, and my coach was like, you can't be putting my purple belts to sleep. So now you're a purple belt, right?
You're in no danger.
Which I want to say a caveat on that too. In my opinion, that is not a reason to promote someone. Mm-hmm. If I see you submit 2 purple belts tomorrow, I don't got to go to the cabinet and be like, fuck, dude, I better get a purple belt out right now.
That's perfectly okay. It feels so much better to be a blue belt submitting purple belts.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Dude,
Plus, you're on your journey, and you're eating some purple belts sometimes. That doesn't mean that, oh, now we got to fast track you. You know what I mean?
No, everybody's journey is different.
Yeah. And dude, it's cool watching you guys settle in as like top of the food chain blue belts and just enjoying this part of your journey for what it is. The belt's going to come soon enough. You don't have to fucking even think about it.
Dude,
you know?
don't worry about it.
And then the last one is straight ankle lock, which straight ankle lock, I don't know, man. There's some people like Joao. Joao puts me in a straight ankle lock. It literally feels like my foot's getting like separated from my body. It's terrifying. And then other people that are still good grapplers will put it in and you can just kind of like put the boot on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, this ain't shit, dude. You know?
Yeah, I don't know what, like, you watch Joao do it, and then you watch those other guys do it, and it's like, oh, man, from the outside, you don't see how different it actually is versus when you're in there. And that's like when you feel someone applying any submission, you can tell right away, like, what their level is. Like, if I'm going with Jake and Jake has an armbar set up completely on me, I'm in fucking danger. I'm in a terrible, terrible spot. But there's some people you let get on it and you're like, this ain't too bad.
Isn't it weird how it's like two men, almost like same build, same strength, almost like spitting image of each other. And some guys, I'll just give them this and be like, hey, let's let them work their armbar defense and see what they can do. And there's absolutely nothing that they can do.
You'll be there till the round's over.
Yeah.
Just
I'll
ripping
even,
off.
dude, something I've been doing a lot lately is as they go to take it, I'll like literally let them defeat this grip and then catch the inside of the knee and then reach back up and re-grip.
Dude, that's so defeating. When you're going to break it, you're like, yes.
And
no,
it's,
what the hell?
and bro, remember when we worked arm bars like before my surgery, we really kind of delved into defeating the grip and angles and like, if I'm breaking the right arm, I should break it over my right hip. Like there's so many little nuances to it. And it's like you said, you kind of know that if they have an understanding of all those nuances long before they're arm barring you.
Oh, yeah.
Just by feeling how they're connected to it.
Yeah. Like for situational, if someone is starting in that position, you're like, they tighten up the Kimura, they pull it into your chest. You're like, oh, this is going to be a tough rotation.
Yeah.
What is your guys' favorite part of being on this team?
Dude, the community.
Part.
Everybody that's here is the most interesting person that you'll have a chat with. Like you're just sitting here and you got Andy, and then you look over the mat and you see Dan. And those two would never share a space in real life ever.
Like Andy is the chief of police of a local municipality.
Yes. And then Dan lives in a trailer behind the gym. I love Dan to death. He's the best. But like you look at this and you're like, how weird a group of people do we have here when you have the chief of police and then you have this guy who's just a random gym rat, and all of a sudden it's like you come here and you have the best training partners in Washington State.
And bro, and nobody cares about like who you are or where you come from. Like, or I shouldn't say they don't care. We all care about each other, but like there's no, I feel like in a lot of social settings, a lot of those different aspects of life kind of give a weight to like your value.
Yeah.
What gives you a weight of value in this gym is literally just who the fuck you are as a human being.
Being a good teammate.
If you're a good person, this team fucking like embraces you, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's for real.
Yeah, you can't like come from the outside like, well, do you know who I am? You're like, nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Andy came in and was like, did you guys know I'm the chief of police? Like, granted, he'd been training long before that, but like if he came in with that attitude, you'd be like, shut up, dude. Who is this guy?
Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting fact about Andy? Do I have to refer to him as chief now?
Can we?
He will be, as long as he doesn't quit training anytime soon, he'll be my first white belt to black belt.
That's so
cool.
Rad. That's so cool.
You know?
Dude, he's the man.
Like Dan came as a purple belt. Like everybody, Craig came as a white belt too, actually.
Okay.
But the thing about Craig is he started wrestling at 4.
Right.
So like, just a little bit of a different thing. You know what I mean?
Not a totally clean slate.
You know how I met Andy? This is a funny story. So you get paid. I don't know if they still do it. I should have told you guys this a long time ago, but I used to get paid $500 a day to go beat up police recruits.
Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up?
You do the Berrien fucking the police training center down there, BLEA, the Basic Law Enforcement Training Academy. And you're not beating them up. What you're doing is you're doing scenarios with them, right?
Yeah.
But bro, sometimes you beat the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they fight back, right? But they don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty easy. But they pay $500 a day to go do scenario-based training with students and beat them up. And I see this guy show up, and he's in a onesie, right? But it's a Rocky Balboa onesie. Have you seen those? It's like a Halloween costume, right?
Yeah.
With like the abs on it and the shorts with the stars and stripes, right?
Yeah.
And he's beating up police recruits in that Rocky Balboa onesie. And I was like, who the fuck's this guy, dude? I started talking to him. It's Andy. And he lived close enough, and then we started training together, dude.
Oh, shit. That's so rad.
Oh my God.
I got to take a piss.
What about you guys? Anything other than just the community?
God, that's a really good answer. You know, that's kind of everything.
So Skyler has the best answer, then we can just fucking move on.
I mean, the question was, what was the best thing, the favorite thing?
Yeah, your favorite part of the academy.
Yeah, it's the community. You know, I tried jiu-jitsu a couple of years before I came here for just a couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
But it was at an MMA gym, and it was weird energy. You know, it was really contentious. It was just weird. It wasn't a good fit, you know, and I kind of, you know, I just got out of there. But it was immediate when I got here, that kind of like brotherhood thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably about the best way to put it. But the community here is really something special. It's cool.
It really is.
Dude, it's weird trying to find that balance because, dude, I've done a lot of MMA and trained in those like dungeons, right? Where it's like everybody's cool, but we're also here to fuck each other up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure what it is about MMA. It didn't give me the brotherhood that I ever felt with jiu-jitsu. But I also didn't feel the brotherhood with jiu-jitsu at all gyms either.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say is I don't necessarily think it's just jiu-jitsu. I think it's this gym specifically, and I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it is, but you tend to bring in, and I mean you specifically, you tend to bring in the right kind of people. And like you've said many times before, is all the wrong kinds of people kind of just filter themselves.
They see their way out.
Yeah. And then you just wind up reducing to this very high quality group of people who are coming in here for all the same reasons. And we all come from different backgrounds, which is probably even more impressive. There are times when I'm rolling with like Andy or Andrew, basically any police officer, thinking to myself like, dude, there was a point in time where this guy could have potentially been putting me in handcuffs and right? You know what I mean? Totally. But now we're here and you know, we're hugging each other.
But bro, you're right. It attracts, and it doesn't even matter who you are professionally or what your 9 to 5 is. Like even the cops that want to be part of this team, it's not because they're cops. It's because whatever that thing is that we've created here, they have it and they want it, you know? Because there's plenty of cops that would bring shitty energy to the team.
Yeah.
Just like there's plenty of people from any walk of life that bring shitty energy to the team. And I appreciate you saying that because the truth is culture does start at the top, right? Yep. And my vision for this place initially was to have this. One day I wanted this, right? Yeah. And I remember I loved being part of Joao's gym and Bouchesha's gym, and they all had good culture. But I also thought like, I can have better culture. I might not have better jiu-jitsu than Bouchesha. In fact, I will never have better jiu-jitsu than Bouchesha. But why couldn't I build a team with better culture? Why couldn't I do that? You know? And it's now reached a point where it becomes like I don't know what the fucking term is, like critical fucking mass or something. But it's like it's reached a point where it has nothing to do with me anymore. I feel like I could fucking take I've been off the mats for a month, right? I feel like there's enough people that are bought in to who the fuck we are that now the gym is its own entity and it holds that culture within itself.
Yeah.
You walk in here, it doesn't matter if I'm in fucking Costa Rica drinking ayahuasca, people are going to feel the culture and it's either for them or it's not for them. But bro, I've had so many new people that come in. That new guy, Matt, have you rolled with him? New blue belt, red-haired dude.
Oh yeah. From California.
Yeah, I moved up from San Diego. Man, he fucking walked through the door and he looks, and I'm standing at the desk, right? And I could see him. He just like looks around and he goes, bro, I just moved up from California. I checked out a couple gyms. Where do I sign up? I said, well, bro, dude, listen, like fucking, let's just fucking give you your week trial. And cause I don't want people to just jump all in because they think they want to, but he is also a blue belt with a lot of jiu-jitsu experience. So it's a different thing, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't need a week trial. He goes, I'm watching how your kids are training right now. And I see how clean and sharp this academy looks. And I want to be part of this team. And he goes, and then the biggest thing, he goes, I wasn't 1 foot inside of the door and you shook my hand and introduced yourself. He goes, the place I checked out last week, I stood at the front door for 20 minutes while 2 black belts and 2 purple belts were doing live rolls. And he goes, and I get, you're not going to get up in the middle of a roll, right? If we're training, although maybe you should,
yeah.
right? But he said, dude, they did multiple rounds and like just kind of looked and he just, dude, I'm right here. Like, what? And then one of them came up and was like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, well, and he said it was like 20 minutes before anyone said hello to me. And bro, that's a broken culture.
Yeah.
Like imagine where can you go with your friends where you walk in a room and it's 20 minutes before someone says, bro, what's up, Jake? How'd your bear hunt go? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an important part of making people feel like they're a valuable person is that they're seen and that they're heard and that they're appreciated. And that may sound like woo-woo bullshit, but that's a fucking truth, man. And I say it often, the culture that we built here, while we don't need jiu-jitsu, we could be doing other things and still bring this group of people together. I think the reason that the magic happens is because jiu-jitsu puts us all in a place as men where we can't be full of shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we're nice to each other. We're excited to see each other. And then we all see what each other's made of. And it's like, oh, I feel pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like he's my friend and he just kicked my ass and I'm his friend and I just kicked his ass. And it's actually kind of settling and freeing to be with a group of people where everybody intimately understands that about each other. Because most groups of people, I guarantee you, people that are not doing what we do, they all have misconceptions of each other.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want that with a group of men. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know what the fuck each other's all about. Mm-hmm. And bro, like, when we had that incident a couple months ago where I thought, I don't know if you guys heard about this. I thought we're out of the property running our guns and geese. And I thought someone was breaking into a car and I started sprinting up the hill. Come to find out that Jordan had set off a car alarm or something and it was Jordan. And I was like, when I got to the top of the hill, I was like, oh, dude, you're not who I want to fight in the woods.
Right.
You know? But bro, I look behind me and Anthony and Oliver, and they were like new teammates, were right with me, ready to throw down on an unknown. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not on the mats, on an unknown in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, this team has forged a group of men that we know we have each other's back. That's fucking special, man.
That's community.
That is cool.
You know?
Dude, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you coming back too. Yeah. Like, you're not motivated every single day to come back, but then you're like, dude, Zach's going to be there and he's going to be fucking getting better.
Yeah. Bro, well, so two things on that. Because when I was in California, I was there, right? As a coach and an academy owner, it's a different thing because I have to unlock the door now, right? Yeah. But when I was a training partner, that's a double-edged sword. I didn't want Sid and Miles and like the guys that were my day in and day out training partners pulling away from me. But then I also felt like, man, if I'm not there, I'm doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
Like they need me just like I need them.
Like there's a feeling of responsibility a little.
Yeah.
I need to be a good training partner for these guys.
If I'm not present, I'm hurting the team.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody feels that here. And that's why we have fucking 50 people at practice sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know? It's really fucking cool. Aside from what's going well, what do you think the biggest impact on just your overall life is?
Well, I'll say for sure, like I was always disciplined in season for wrestling and stuff like that, but I was never really dedicated. Like it never drove me. Like there wasn't this like extra oomph behind it. I don't know what it was missing or what I was missing at the time, but coming here, this is like, it's special. This feels like even though some days I'm like, shit, dude, I'm not really motivated to go to practice or whatever. There's this like underlying feeling that this is the most fulfilling thing I'm doing currently. There's nothing else in my life that brings me the things jiu-jitsu brings me. I think as people, we have certain requirements, right? Like we need intellectual challenge, we need something physical to challenge us, and we need an artistic outlet. And this does something that you couldn't get a better bang for your buck in terms of what you're going to do with your time. This covers all of those things in such a crazy way.
Yeah.
There's nothing I've ever had that does anything near what this does for me.
In all the days that you don't want to go to practice, because I used to have that debate with myself nightly, driving home from work in Los Angeles, like, oh, fuck, I'm tired. Like your brain starts coming up with the reasons why you should go home.
Yep.
And never one time have I said, you know what, fuck that, I'm going to practice. Went to practice and then regretted it. I'm like, you know what?
Ever.
I should have just went home. I should have listened to that voice and got to bed an hour early tonight. Mm-hmm. Like you leave with a high.
Every time.
You know?
Every time. And
then this team sometimes leaves with literal highs because we'll pass a joint around afterwards.
Dude, that's part of the gang. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Zach, you don't partake though, huh?
I don't, but I'm trying to make career changes right now, and at some point I'm gonna have to pass a drug test. So maybe at some point in the near future, I'll wind up smoking some weed. Because
I also think that's one of the beautiful things about this team is like, because there's a lot of cops, there's a lot of people that don't partake. But if we're out at the picnic tables passing a joint around, it's not like walking by like, oh, the stoners are over there. Nobody cares.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's not clicky.
No, of course not. It's like, dude, we'll be passing a joint around a circle with a couple cops in there and a couple people that can't partake for professional reasons. And there's there's never any weirdness, you know?
No, none at all. We have the best team.
yeah.
What about you guys? Is there any kind of like, you feel any kind of like profound impact or like how it affected your life aside from just like becoming a better grappler, what it's done for you like emotionally or spiritually?
Yeah. I kind of like what we were just talking about before this. It's the responsibility thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I'm pretty prone to being a sad individual, getting my own pity party kind of thing.
I think a lot of us are, bro.
Yeah. And so like maybe I don't feel like I'm worth not getting drunk tonight. Like fuck it. You know, I'm already a POS, might as well get stoned or get hammered or whatever. But now it's like, well, I can't because now I have a responsibility to my teammates. Coaching the kids is huge for me.
Yeah.
So like I literally will look in the mirror and be like, dude, you can't get drunk tonight. Like the kids are counting on you.
Alexander wants to try and kill you tomorrow.
Yes. And I owe it to him to show up and let him try to kill me every single time.
Never let him think that he's going to win, though. He ain't ready for that.
I told him...
He needs just smashing still.
I told him and Mason, you will never tap me. Ever. I will die first.
You know what's interesting about those kids is like, bro, it ain't going to be that long before they're 17 and a half years old.
I know.
And 180 pounds.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, our team is going to get this influx of young men that are going to be built like us, except they have, again, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, they have technique that was developed since they were 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Dude, that's so exciting. We already got the trickle coming in, though.
It's happening.
The kids' class.
Yep.
It's like they're already starting.
Yeah, Hayden.
Yeah, you got Hayden. I don't know where Rocco's been,
Jackson.
but whenever.
Rocco's moving, bro.
What?
Yeah, they're Marcus and Rocco. They're moving.
Unacceptable.
I'm not happy about it.
Unacceptable.
But it's, I know, it makes me sad.
Yeah.
The team is going to take a hit.
Yeah, dude,
you know?
Seriously. They're a huge part of the team.
And it's funny because it's like, on one hand, this team is not about any one person, but any one person leaving can fucking damage like what we have built. You know, and it's because they're valuable teammates.
Yeah. Like when Bob left, I mean, you felt it for a couple of weeks there.
Yeah, dude.
There was like a void.
You miss his goofy little laugh and smile.
His wave. Hey,
come roll me.
Damn it. I know what
so
that means.
So unexpecting, dude. It's a ruse.
It was a ruse.
It was. That's exactly what it was.
He's lying. He's like, hey.
Zach, you got anything on how it's affected you spiritually or emotionally?
Oh, dude, absolutely. And I think that my situation is a little bit different because when I started jiu-jitsu, I was coming from a place of neutrality in my own life, but not long before that, I was fucking lost, dude. I was off the path. I was doing some fucking seriously dumb shit. And I did that for a very long time. I started making the decisions to start to put my life back together. And it wasn't maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years after that I started to get more involved in the community. And it's just been a slow climb since then. I found a group of people who had a very stable and successful life, a life that I wanted to live for myself. And I started fucking following them as closely as I could. And that's why I've dove into the community as deep and as tightly as I have.
Dude, I have noticed with you, like, let's see here. Like Anthony is the opposite of you. Anthony showed up and was one of the homies right away. You were very reserved for a long time. You were hard to get to know.
Yep.
And was that by design, or is that just kind of who you are? Like observe, kind of stay low key, eyes open, mouth shut type of guy?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both because I don't know. I do try to stay reserved and be more observant. But yeah, dude, I don't know. To be completely honest, I think that I feel like there might be a little bit of fear of judgment because of where I come from.
Okay. Yeah.
So just wanted to sort of like, I don't know, integrate myself slowly. Maybe it has something to do with some trust issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism. I feel like I probably try to keep a lot of people at arm's length just to protect myself because I haven't always surrounded myself with people who had the best of intentions. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But bro, I mean, Tyler is another perfect example of that, dude. Tyler fucking, and Tyler's told his stories on the podcast a lot, but Tyler was into same thing. Half the cops on the team probably arrested Stanaway at some point, right? Drugs and fighting and bad decisions.
Yeah.
And then made the choice to fucking, hey, it's time to put that shit behind me. And bro, like, he's probably the most respected dude on the fucking team.
Without a doubt, man. And look at everything that he's doing right now with the Stones and Bones show and all
dude,
that
it's
stuff.
fucking radical,
he's
man.
on a serious fucking journey, man. And I have so much fucking love and respect for that dude. It's unbelievable because, you know, he and I are like 30 days apart in age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have way more in common than he actually knows about yet because we haven't really gotten the chance to talk about those things. But yeah, in the near future, without a doubt, dude. I went to one of his shows the other night.
Bro, we're doing another one. I missed the last ceremony you guys did, but he said he's going to do another one in February. And bro, there again, it's like, that has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, right? Oh. However, everybody there was brought together through jiu-jitsu.
And that was a very fucking profound, I don't know, realization in the very beginning is when everything started to unravel and become as clear as possible, is that we were all warriors, dude, brought together by the catalyst of jiu-jitsu. And maybe we come from very different backgrounds, but we have so much in common. It's just this like really tight brotherhood. And I don't know, I mean, yeah, women too, right? You know?
We call it the brotherhood, but Christy's right there with us. Rachel's right there with us. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
There are female brothers. and I can say that kind of jokingly, but also true because we don't sexualize them at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they're not beautiful women. I mean, they just did the Jiu Jitsu Chronicles podcast 2 episodes ago, and it was one of the best received episodes I've done in a long time. They're powerful, beautiful, awesome women, but they're brothers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bro, like not very many activities can women kind of put that protection mechanism down and be vulnerable. And bro, now she's out in the woods fucking having campfires and cooking and shit with you guys like all night. Like that's fucking real shit, dude.
Yep.
You know? No, that's fucking super awesome, man. Anything else on that?
I think we got it.
You know, it's funny because you hear a lot of times like where jiu-jitsu, like bro, you got fucking tattoos on your face and shit. And like you got fucking, you know, chief of police and stuff. And in your own heart, you said you felt like, man, am I going to be judged? Is there a little like, is this going to be I have to break a barrier down to get to know these people or whatever?
Yeah,
but I think most of that was in your heart. No one ever looked at you like bro, like we're all a bunch of wild animals.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just because we've took different paths to where we've taken or where we've arrived at, man, I learned that when I was in fucking Los Angeles as a law enforcement officer. All those kids are banging and they're all tatted up and shit. And dude, a lot of them are cool.
And that was something that I've heard you say that have sort of made me feel more comfortable about opening up and stuff like that. Is you've had you feel like you get along better with some of those people than you do with the
yeah, for sure, bro. Because dude, I know, and this isn't fucking me like trying to stoke the flame right now, but I know I'm fucking one incident away from being put in a cage for the rest of my life or being shot by law enforcement. Even though I love police officers and I have half of my friends are police officers, the world is so uncertain that, and my heels are so dug in with like what I believe to be true and authentic and correct that it's like, hey man, like if some fucking cop wants to come in here and shut me down because of some county code violation, I'm going to say, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. I don't care if you're a cop. Yeah. And society doesn't like that very much. Right. And so like, I know damn well that like, it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to find myself on the other side of the coin either. Life happens, man. You know,
you hear that a lot with people in the military who say like, dude, I had one of two directions I could go. I could have gone into the military or I would have wound up in fucking prison. You know what I mean?
Or dead. That's usually the third one they say. Yeah. And that's why I say like, dude, people that find themselves with legal trouble and fucking like slinging dope and all the shit that like, oh, that's bad. Well, walk in their shoes and see where you ended up, you know? And, I've talked about on the podcast a lot because exactly what you just said, when I was observing all of those fucking gangbanging kids down in Los Angeles, you know, a lot of people pull yourself up by your bootstraps and fucking, you make your own destiny and all that shit. And that's easy stuff to say. But I also grew up with a mother and a father and an upper middle class family with stability and education. I'm being disingenuous if I say that my path and the kid that is lived in the fucking projects he's fourth generation projects, slinging dope and pimping hoes, are given the same opportunity. Right. It's not true. And so it's very easy for a lot of people to make bad decisions in their life. But if we fucking keep every man, if we judge him on the decisions he made when he was 18, it's like, what's the point of all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, we fucking grow,
absolutely.
We move.
People can get better. People can be better than they were. That's like what we're all here to be.
That's what we're here to be.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I talk about with like, in regards to the judicial system. It's like, if you get in some legal trouble, bro, getting back on your feet is exponentially tougher because it's like, oh, you got this on your record or you're a felon or this or that. And it's like, bro, if a man made bad decisions and now he's saying, hey, I recognize that's a bad decision and I'm trying to become a better person, we should never demonize that. We should celebrate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fucking rad. Like,
the only thing that you can do is make your decisions differently from this point forward. You know what I mean? Those things that you did in the past do not necessarily define you.
Yeah.
Unless you keep making those same mistakes.
Yeah.
I think we should have like an age cutoff where if you're over 30 something and you're still making those bad decisions, then it's just off with your head. But bro, when you're a fucking kid, like, and I consider like even early 20s, you're still a fucking kid, man.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to get caught up in stuff and make bad decisions. And again, I saw it all the time in Los Angeles where it's like, they would charge these kids with RICO conspiracy, where it's like, if you had any part involvement, you're getting fucking hammered. And if we're being completely honest, there's plenty of examples where it's almost wrong place, wrong time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I just turned 30. I've lived
so don't fuck up or we're taking your head.
Right. I've been a hockey player, lived the athlete life. Then I was kind of like a mountain manny cowboy type of dude. I was a biker for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Got out of that. Now I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. You can change.
And a big game hunter like Cam Haines.
Right. Yes.
Running through the woods, chasing bears and shit.
Fuck yeah.
No, and bro, I actually think that is healthy and that's how you should live your life. Like and I tell Skyler this all the time because he's fucking working at Boeing. And I was like, bro, don't rivet airplanes for 35 years.
That's not the plan, bro.
Your soul has too much power and fire inside of it. And for people that choose to do that, I'm not taking anything away. Sometimes like a 9-to-5er is like people that satisfies their thirst for life. It's not going to satisfy yours.
No,
it's not going to.
Close, man.
And so like very similar to you, Jake, man, like I've lived like 5 different lives in the last 20 years and good, right? Like that's fucking, and I even say like, there's a point where this gym probably gets signed over to one of our fucking top guys and I disappear on a sailboat for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more adventure to be had out there. And sooner or later, I'm going to have to go fucking find out what that is. Mm-hmm. I actually think the next adventure is the apocalypse. So
that's what the sword's for.
That's what I think the next adventure is. But either by default or by choice, it's cool to go do different shit, you know? But jiu-jitsu should always be part of that journey to some extent.
Right.
I actually did a poll. I said, who's going to still train jiu-jitsu in the apocalypse? And it was like 98% people said they're still going to train. And I was like, I don't think you guys understand what the apocalypse
is. How many of those
is.
people are liars?
What do you mean?
Like fucking, if the grid is down and we're fucking fighting for food and stuff and you're starving, it's probably not. Calories are going to be so precious.
Yeah.
I don't want to drill double legs with you, Skyler. No. I asked Christy and Rachel this too. And you guys are in not a new phase of jiu-jitsu. You've been committed for a long time. But what amount of money would it take for you to sell your jiu-jitsu, have the Men in Black wand waved in front of your eyes, and Monday morning or Monday afternoon tomorrow, you come in as a day 1 white belt?
Dude, I don't like this question.
Was it one of you guys? We were kind of talking about this recently. No, I was talking about it with somebody in the sauna. White belt was so fucking hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God. I don't know that I could do it again. Like, I'm so glad that I don't have to just come in and get fucking smashed every single day and have no hope at all of having any success. And you just have to keep showing up for 6 more months until eventually you can maybe catch somebody with something, or you hit a sweep finally. And you're like, yeah, I'm on top for 3 seconds. Dude, I don't know.
But for $5 million, would you go through that again?
It's 2023. $5 million doesn't go that far. It's 2024.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think $5 million goes that far.
Bro, for me, I look at it like this. Like, if I woke up tomorrow as a white belt, my whole life is defined through jiu-jitsu. Like, I lose everything. Mm-hmm. Therefore, if I knew that I was going to lose everything, it's not for sale. Right. I wouldn't sell my jiu-jitsu knowledge for 10, 20, 100 million, because I can't walk in here and be who I am if that was taken from me.
Yeah, dude. It's like putting a price on your soul, right? That's not happening, bro.
You're right?
It's not happening, man.
Like, it's like, obviously a lot of people trade blood, sweat, and tears for dollars, right? Yeah. But I just don't think, because jiu-jitsu has forced all of us to grow so much spiritually and emotionally. Fuck, man. Like, it would be so hard to be this person in here that's grown from jiu-jitsu, but then not have it.
You wouldn't be. There's no like having the person you are now without the path that you took. So it's like offering, it's just like, oh, dude, I'll spit in your face if you offer me that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's taking away the essence of who you are.
That's right, dude.
You had to build yourself up to this point, and then someone's like, yeah, all that building, now pretend it doesn't fucking matter. Here's some money and forget about all that.
And come in here and get murdered by Hayden after he leaves Robot Club.
Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Because that's what it would be.
Dude, that would be terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
But also, I mean, question. You're also 3 years in or whatever, or 2 years, whatever, right? Like, okay. I mean, I might also be willing to do a year of solitary confinement for $100 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is.
So it's like,
Yeah.
No?
Fuck no.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Solitary confinement for $100 million? No. And I wouldn't trade my jiu-jitsu journey for money either, because I feel like that alone would just devalue it. It's so sacred and precious, and everything that we have put into this. And just like you said, like jiu-jitsu, your jiu-jitsu journey has made you what you are right now, I feel exactly the same way.
Fuck yeah.
And to devalue that with money would be setting myself back. It would just be disgracing that. I'm so happy and proud of everything that I have put together in the time that I have started training jiu-jitsu. That's my life, dude. Like, jiu-jitsu was the beginning. It was the seed that I planted in my own soul that grew into this epic fucking tree already.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Blue belt.
And you're just getting started, dude.
Dude.
Yeah. And that's why I love asking that question to people, because, bro, the answer is the same every single time. People are like, but my fucking jiu-jitsu ain't for sale, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I like to bring that up is because this podcast isn't just a jiu-jitsu podcast, but there's a lot of jiu-jitsu in it. And one of the most common emails I get is like, bro, I've been listening to you talk about jiu-jitsu for 3 years. So I finally went and tried it. And it changed my life, and here's why. And I just want to reply back and go, duh.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, we know.
Another one.
We know it changed your life. But just because we know it's going to change your life, it doesn't make that person's journey any less profound. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be just as celebrated as all of it. But there's a reason why everybody that trains jiu-jitsu comes to the conclusion that's like, oh, this has been a massive, massive catalyst in me discovering myself, you know? And that's why it's grown to what it's grown to. But I like to shine a spotlight on that, because I guarantee you there's tons of people out there still that are like, just like you said, Jake, I thought about it for a year. I even sent you an email, kicked the idea around, and then fucking, nah.
Yeah.
How bad do you wish you started that year
Dude,
prior?
so bad.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking you up.
Dude, not today.
Yeah, bro, that's just like people say, everybody says they'd never sell their jiu-jitsu. That's the other thing that every single jiu-jitsu athlete says, I wish I started when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than the Rotolo brothers, because they don't remember.
Right.
I saw after he won ADCC, he's like, yeah, I don't have memories of living life before jiu-jitsu.
It's just this. Dude, you see the pictures of them being 4-year-olds with shoulder roll keys
Sponsored.
on?
Dude, you want to hear something funny? Last night, was it last night? Maybe it was Friday night. Eli was in here, and he was talking about, like, man, like, I really want to try and see how far I can take jiu-jitsu. I want to make a big run at becoming not just good at this. I want to be elite at this. Because I feel like getting good at this has come quickly. Like, I've had a lot of success inside of the 2 years he's been doing it. He goes, can I have Joel's number? Because I want to have a conversation about what it takes to not be good at jiu-jitsu, but be elite at jiu-jitsu. And so I gave him his number, and they talked for a long time, and and he's fired up right now. And I think that's the coolest fucking thing in the world. And then I said, but here's another thing, Eli, like, we're Checkmat, and we're not just paying an affiliation fee so I can have a fucking a logo on the wall. Like, Leo Vieira and Joao Assis and Marcus Boucher are friends of mine that I can call right now. So if you want to go down there and train with the best guys in the world, say when, dude, and we can make that happen. I said, Jansen Gomez won the middleweight world title this year, and he's down there with those guys. I said, dude, I'll show you him right now. So we put on Flow Grappling and watched Jansen Gomez beat Tannen Dalpra for the world title. It's Tannen Dalpra's first defeat in IBJJF. He was undefeated before that, dude.
Whoa.
And Tannen Dalpra also started when he was like a little baby with AOJ. And he's like, fuck, man, these dudes are amazing. Like, wow, look at that guy's game, blah, blah. He goes, how old is he? I say he's 22. He's like, oh. you can see that hit like a dagger, because that's younger, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, there's some people that just caught the lightning early, and they should be thanking their parents more than anything. You know, your little brother could be one of them. If he fucking buckles back down,
Dude.
He disappeared for a while.
I know, dude. He got all into football and basketball season and
Gay shit.
I know.
He got into
all
gay
that
shit.
shit's gay. Fuck all that. No, dude, this is what's up.
But yeah, that's the craziest thing is, like, the next generation of world champions. Like, we're already seeing it with Tannen Dalpra and Jansen Gomez, the Rotolo brothers.
Yeah.
But a decade from now, every single one of them are probably started when they were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, you got, like, those people we're talking about are the anomalies right now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Ika Galval and then the Cade and Ty. Like,
Because, you know, like Boucher and Joao, those guys started like mid-teens.
really?
Yeah.
Boucher
Boucher started at 12.
Kid.
12. But he said he just really dabbled more than trained until 15. And then at 15, he's like, I'm all in.
Was he already a foot taller than everybody else? At the time?
Probably.
Outweighed everybody by 100 pounds.
But you know, I've said this story on the podcast a lot. It's right out of Marcus's mouth. I remember where I was standing in the gym when he told me this. He goes, Greg, man, I wish I started when I was younger. And I was like,
12 was too old.
I said, you're only the reigning world champion. Whatever path you took isn't working out too well for you, is it? You know? But I say that story to people often because, and I don't hear it so much from your guys' generation, like, but the people that are my age that sign up, bro, it haunts them. They're like, how did I not? Well, I shouldn't say I don't hear it from you guys.
Do about it.
Every single person says that. Mm-hmm. But the people that are like in their 40s that are just discovering it, it's almost like, fuck.
I feel like you miss a huge opportunity to have that youth and to be able to take a beating and really like turn it up to like 12, you know?
Yeah.
Once you get into your 40s, you kind of got to be careful.
Well, and bro, talking to Toby about that, him and I talked about it because, I mean, we were Rangers together. We were fucking kids together. And he said exactly that. He goes, man, because he was a professional downhill mountain bike racer for a while.
Oh, no shit.
That shit's gnarly.
Yeah, dude.
And he goes, bro, if I were to learn downhill mountain biking right now, not a chance. Mm-hmm. Like it would absolutely destroy me. He goes, but I can go race right now because I learned all those lessons and I'm good enough now to where I'm not going to put my body through the ringer like I did when I was 21, learning to be a fucking downhill racer. And he goes, I feel like it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. He's like, I missed the opportunity to learn about being new at jiu-jitsu when your body is pretty unbreakable.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, now it's breaking all the time.
Dude, that's why I'm so glad I started when I did. It was like right on the last right cusp.
On the cusp.
Yeah.
Like I had my first like non-reversible injury. And it was one of those like, oh, I'm not 22 anymore. Oh shit.
Yeah,
what you're not
still 30.
Are you not talking about when you cut your hand off in a table saw?
Well, that too. Okay. That too. I meant from jiu-jitsu.
Oh, from jiu-jitsu.
Honestly though, I mean, I ran my hand through a table saw, cut a finger off, cut one 70% of the way through, hit all 5 fingers.
Through your hand.
Shot a nail through another hand.
Dude, how does that thing work?
But the fact that I've got all 5 of them, that's only because I was a young athlete. It was a totally experimental surgery. They were going to amputate both of these. Like, I shouldn't have fingers. I got through this whole thing pretty unscathed because I was young and in good shape.
I've never noticed that before.
Oh, you didn't know he cut his fingers off?
Yeah, no, dude,
I've never actually looked at his hands as close before.
Yeah,
I've never noticed that your fingers were like that.
I got like a hinge in here. It goes to 90 degrees. That one's fused because that's the one that came off. That's where my thumbprint came from, because you have to have one of those for legal purposes.
Bro, I'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah.
What if I want to be a fucking international criminal?
Right? I was like, yeah. But, so I was gripping up with somebody, and they were trying to strip my grips off their sleeve, and I wasn't giving it up. And I think it was Kyle, and he kind of went like that, and I felt my finger just go pop. It broke sideways. And I went to the doctor, whatever, and I kind of figured, you go to the doctor, we'll get this all fixed up. And he's like, well, is there any chance of you not doing any physical anything for like 6 months because you tore all the ligaments in your finger? I'm like, well, then no. And he's like, your finger just does that now then. And the tip just
life.
moves sideways.
Oh.
And it's all got this big old knot on it. And he's like, that's just your hand now, dude.
That's just jiu-jitsu hands, bro.
Yeah.
Go look at the Meow's hands.
Yeah.
Paulo, Joao, Meow. Do you know who those guys are?
No.
Their knuckles.
Dude, it's
they
got the gnarliest jiu-jitsu hands you've ever seen in your life,
just
dude.
Gnarled.
Those fucking kids, like, I'm going to misspeak because I don't know exactly what it is, but dude, when they were up and coming, they were drilling like 10 hours a day. Something crazy like that.
Like Musumechi.
Yeah, same shit. Just all fucking day, dude.
That's all you do. How do you do that though? Like, I need some live to keep me going,
Bro, and that's the thing. There is no perfect formula, Like, dude, Joao, when he was fucking at the top of the food chain, we still go out fucking drinking and partying and chasing chicks.
That's
and
so savage,
dude, living savage, right?
Yeah.
And then there's other people that like sleep, eat, breathe jiu-jitsu no matter what. Mm-hmm. And that's what takes them to the top. I do think though, like the the farther we get into, like we were saying, like these savants and these kids that have done it since the time they could stand, that the needle's going to move further and further to like, if you're not 100% full-time athlete, you're fucked, man.
But dude, there's those anomalies like John Jones. John Jones out partying every weekend. He comes in and he'll stomp the second best guy in the world.
Dude, I love that.
I love it too, because then you're like, what the doesn't matter how hard you try, Daniel Cormier. It doesn't matter.
You know what's funny, dude? Every single time John Jones fights, the internet fucking fills up with comments. So like, was it Tom Aspinall?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if he fights him, like Aspinall is going to fucking do this, do that. And it's like, what makes you say that? Because so far he's shown to have the answer to everything. Oh, he had a tough fight against Reyes. Well, okay. Have you never had an off? On his off night, he still took home the UFC light heavyweight title. You know?
Yeah,
right. The fucking dude.
Why do people think anyone's going to run through him? Like, yeah, Gustafsson is a chump.
Yeah, I know, right?
What, dude?
Yeah.
No, dude, I think it's funny because it's always fascinated me that a lot of people want professional fighters to be these like model citizens.
Like GSP.
It's like, congratulations. GSP is a once in a lifetime athlete where he was at that level. And then he's also going to fucking like carry groceries out for old ladies and fucking like, he's a gentleman. I get it. Like GSP is a very special person. But for the majority of men that choose to be locked in a cage and beat each other to death, they're probably going to be wild motherfuckers. And instead of fucking crying about that, just understand who the fuck you're talking about.
Right. Talking about John Jones.
That dude is
about Mike Tyson.
Yeah, those dudes have chosen to beat the fuck out of the toughest men on planet Earth for their entire adult life. And you expect them not to drive cars fast? Or fucking use drugs sometimes, or make bad decisions sometimes.
Or maybe beat someone up that they probably shouldn't have.
I mean, when he took the light heavyweight title from Mauricio Shogun Rua, and for you guys that like, you guys were probably young when that happened, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I grew up John Jones's champ.
So, dude, I grew up watching fucking Shogun maul everybody. Pride Grand or heavyweight Grand Prix or light heavyweight Grand Prix. Bro, Shogun was the man for his generation, and he moved over from Pride. And I do think the Shogun that we saw in UFC wasn't the Shogun from Pride. It was still good enough to get the UFC strap, though.
I think the testing is what did it.
Bro, I hear USADA's moving out of the UFC. Like,
thank God.
Let's see what we got now. You know,
right.
But Shogun John Jones chewed through Shogun like he was fighting me. Like, it was like, what the fuck is happening
dude,
right
at
now?
What, 22?
Yeah,
a
dude.
fight with a flying knee. He's like, let's get this started.
Well, bro, and to go back to what you said an hour ago, I honestly think that's why John Jones is so good, is because he has this elite level skill set that he's built over his lifetime. But when he goes out there, it's almost like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's willing to just, let's try this, and just commits to it and see what happens.
Dude, there's something to that. I think it's just like not closing yourself off to opportunities that present themselves to you. Like when you're rolling and you're hyper fixated on beating somebody, you got your strong game that you're probably falling into. Or if you don't really care, it's like, oh, all of a sudden this is open. I'm seeing this. Or you kind of put the blinders on when you're trying to just go after, carve that one path to beat somebody.
And it's weird how fast that can change too. Like, I kind of feel like I have a theme for the night. Like, do you guys feel that? Like, I don't feel like I have a great round and then I have a shit round. Then I have a great round, then I have a shit round. I feel like I'm kind of switched on or I'm kind of switched off.
Absolutely.
For a full practice, right? And I had a practice, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago now or 3 months ago, where I was sweeping and submitting the toughest dudes in the gym other than like Daniel, because I can't submit Daniel, but with what felt like pretty effortlessly. And I went home and I was like, dude, I leveled up. Like, you know how you level up in a moment in time? I'm like, the best version of myself just appeared tonight. It's here now. Fuck yes. I was so stoked, man. And then my last night, and I don't know if I fucking told you two this yet, My last night before I went out on surgery was shortly after that leveled up experience. And I was like, I'm just going to go out there and buzzsaw the team because it's my last night. And I didn't buzzsaw anybody. And I went with you, and I went with Marcus. And all three of you guys gave me the toughest rounds that you have ever given me.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, so much for leveling up.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the other side of the coin, maybe I did level up, and then you guys leveled up right behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's what's so weird.
And so that's like, as soon as you think like, oh, fuck yeah, other people are all fuck yeah. And it's just like.
Right.
Yeah, because there was a point where like you had stopped coming for like a month or something.
He was out tracking animals in the woods.
Yeah, dude. And then I was like, oh yeah, I got all this level up going. And then I go roll Jake. And then you're like, oh, okay, we got like probably a week where I was feeling real good about rolling with you till he was right back in the mix. He decided to level up again.
Well, I was getting fucking creamed. So I started really hustling. I'm coming to morning class, doing 2-a-days. I started coming in at 4 and just working out on the mats when nobody else was here. You know, I was the only one here.
Bro, just so you know,
around.
every open mat, because again, I have to unlock the door. Jake's the only one here shrimping up and down the mat, shrimping, and then side shrimping, and then fucking like all the drills. And I'm like, shit's paying off, bro.
Yeah, I'm super bummed. Like the only sad thing about my new job is that I can't get here at 4 for that.
Oh, really?
Fuck, I miss my old
All right,
mat.
you're fucked, bro.
I know. But yeah, I got sick of getting my ass kicked, so I got kicked it into real high gear to kind of catch back up.
But you also don't want to take fucking hunting season off next year because life is life, right?
Right.
But
you
just
gotta
know.
feed your family.
But just know when you're out in the
You
woods,
gotta kill some stuff.
fucking tracking elk, that these two are here fucking drilling.
I know.
I love it. I love it. Every time I'm here and I don't see you, I'm like, yep.
All right, fuck, we're at 2:15. I'm gonna wrap it up. Any final thoughts? Anything you guys wanted to put out?
Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, this
Thank
is
you for
rad.
having us here for this.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
Thanks,
I feel-
so much. And thanks for the gym, man. This is so fucking
Fuck,
cool.
man. I'll tell you what, the gym was a fucking dream for a long time, and I built it in 2015, which is a long time ago, but it didn't grow into what it is until the last probably 36 months.
Yeah.
And it's because a bunch of savage motherfuckers like you guys bought into what we do here and built the team into a reality, you know? And it's weird because like, you know, you hear about visualizing stuff and like, I always wanted a team like this and now it's here, bro.
Yeah.
And it's fucking cool.
It feels so cool to be, well, all three of us, like that last of the upstairs
Yep.
crew.
Bro, that's
Before
like,
the
yeah.
gym
So
just fucking
blew
exploded.
No,
it's been
it's-
so cool to be around for.
you guys are always going to have that, like, back when it was hard mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, that's not taken away from anybody that started, but it's afterwards. But that was a period of time where the gym went through a massive shift and got a lot of new members and like it's just a new beginning kind of. And fucking A, like having all of you guys part of that journey is what fucking makes it special, you know?
Dude, we're only about 3 years into this.
I know,
that's
right?
crazy.
Just watch.
Yeah, bro, I'm already fucking having to talk about pushing that wall out.
Do it.
You know?
Yeah.
Fucking rad. All right, thanks, guys.